To Chalet we head first as SSG, FLUXO, their fate now on the line. It's a must-win best of three. One to progress, to take on Furia. The other to bid farewell here at the Six Invitational. I feel like this is going to be a very vocal game, both inside the server and outside the server as well.
We haven't even finished the ban phase and they're trying to get in Ashen's mind. Yeah, it's going to be a nice little tug-of-war between these two. Of course, a rematch from the group stage. FLUXO W7M with a 2-1 victory. I don't know how much of it might be the North American bias, but it seems as if the desk, Fox and Lax, not particularly impressed though, however, by FLUXO W7M's teamwork throughout this event so far. And I think understandably skeptical at the ability for them to get this result across the line, especially if we find ourselves in a situation where we don't see big individual performances. On the flip side though, for SSG, more well-rounded. Do they still have the same heights, however? Can they tap into that ability to, you know, convert big moments, which typically in elimination matches are where matches are won or lost?
Fortunately, getting a very early rehost here before we even get underway. Seems like there were a few little issues to begin with, but it just kind of raises the tense nature of this match. SSG have been so good at this tournament and led by what I would consider three players that have been able to show their strengths in different facets. You got Benja, for example. He's the 10th rated player at the tournament with a 109 EPS, plus 32 KD with 17 multi-kills. And it's a huge amount. And he's got 5 opening kills. But then you go to Ashen. He's got the same EPS, same ranking, 28 KD, 11 multi-kills, so slightly lower than Benjamin, but where his strengths have been in the opening kill department, plus 16, which is right up there at the very top end. And then Newers complements those two really nicely. Plus 24 KD, 9 multi-kills, but not quite too many of the opening kills. In fact, only a plus 1, which is a positive note, and overall has been able to still back those two up. So there's enough fragging power on the board for SSG. When you go to FLUXO, it's all about Dodez. He's the 11th rated player at the event so far, Guz, and he's been the standout for FLUXO.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've had several players above that 100 EPS, which of course is the expected value. Only Dots, I say, lagging behind, 83, still respectable, and he's filling his role nicely, but maybe looking to just get a little bit more involved in the kill feed. Of course, we apologize for this technical pause, but it shouldn't prolong for too much longer. 10 players back inside of the server. The operator ban phase is being played out once more. And once that is confirmed, we should be good to jump into the action.
Yeah, touching on Dots there, minus 45 KD, minus 12 on the opening kills, so 20 opening kills for him, minus 32, so 32 opening deaths. He's only been able to manage so far 6 3Ks, which is on the lower end for FLUXO W7M. But again, you kind of look at the roles that he plays. He plays a lot of Blackbeard, he plays a lot of Blitz, he plays a lot of Grim. On the attacking side, he's more that supportive player. He's not going to be the one that's largely going to put up a lot of numbers. And then defensively, he's playing your smokes, your two routes. So a true supportive player and an anchor on defense. So if you're going to have one player that's below 100, it's going to be Dots. Loban, Volps, Palu, and Dodez have all been performing. So it's been a big call for FLUXO W7M. And as I said before, for SSG, Newers, Ashen, and Benja have been incredible. J9O then is also still above 100 EPS. But can he get to his very best in now what is a very crucial match? Win this series, you progress and you play Furia. Lose and you're out of SI. It doesn't get any more tense now than these kind of games. Once you start reaching lower bracket round 3, once you start realizing main stage is on the horizon, to lock yourself into a top 6 finish at a Six Invitational, it is a incredibly successful event for a team like SSG to then get a chance to play Fury on the main stage where you can maybe get Ashen to try and get in their heads in that arena environment. SSG on the attack as we get underway here on Chalet. It is their map pick. 4-1 record over the last 6 months versus FLUXO's 3-4 record.
The bans as well for the opening portion here of Chalet. Blitz, Lion, Mirror, and Azami. line probably straying a little bit further away from what we would classify as expected bans on this particular map. May just complicate things a little bit in terms of information gathering or crowd control when it comes to the late round for the attack.
So that earlier Nitrocell was thrown out by Dodez, playing close office wall. Dots then down below in dining with the pulse, so he's getting a lot of information towards positions like Ego and this breach against Newers. So the second Nitrocell thrown, that one from Dots. Again, he's really aiding Dodez here and also knowing when to throw out these Zoto canisters based on the presence of SSG around that vicinity as Ashen trying to peek this Ego position. J90 finds the opening kill though on to Loban outside of the exterior balcony towards bathroom. And that just kind of opens up this site now a little bit for SSG. FLUXO a bit more spread. It's a 2-2 split. So there is a gap in the middle portion here of this upper floor. Kitchen dining though the site, so Volts can start to put pressure here. Dots down below, up close. Doesn't have the Nitro anymore though for the Monty.
Yeah, not initially clear, but nice the Monty safe. Good push. 4-3 though in favor of SSG, and Dots still able to anchor the site.
The fact that Dots is still alive here is really, really important for FLUXO. As Volts then gets rid of J90, suddenly numbers equal. SSG, though, turn their attention more so top floor. Volts clearing out Piano. There's 50 seconds, so they have the time to keep pushing back and also get someone established on the vert. Parley, though, on the Clash is a wonderful operator to deal with this Monty.
Newers as well in on the action, and so it flips once again. The momentum in the round. SSG, despite being stalled out, have been able to break that. Volts has the diffuser, keep in mind, and he's still on second floor.
Volps is now the one that has to make the next play here in the last 20 seconds. It's on Volps. Parley can only do so much with the Clash at this point. Volps inside of dining, but this is where, with Volts pushing through with the kit, Newers can watch, hold the angle. It's Volts, though, that went pistol out on the Monty. He's the one that got aggressive. Poor old Palu now by himself. Does get the headshot onto Newers. Knows there's one up above.
Oh,
he got that tap onto Volts, but the plant was successful. What a shot from Palu. Now he can go for the counter defuse, forced the drop. Oh my God, the fact that it was even that close. Benja locks in, completes the round for SSG, but credit to Palu for making it spicy at the end.
Those were some gnarly shots to make that a potential clutch, but not to be, and SSG are rewarded. And Benja very quick to remind Palu that Last Alive is a classic move from him in the old chat.
And he's playing a Clash. He's naturally going to be avoided by the attack. The fact that he even got those kills towards the end. And yeah, the talking has already begun inside of the server.
It's good.
Volps actually just reminding SSG, it's only the first round, calm down. But it was this tap here. Oh. One more, like, just once. If he kills him there without that going down, it changes the complexion of the round.
Nice, Benja, let's go.
Yeah, mighty close. Good composure, though, from Benja on the drop. Of course, knew Palu was locked in the corner positionally. It was all about just landing that shot. And he did exactly that, so good work from him.
I do want to update the result from the B stream. If you do not want to know the result, don't know it, want to find out later, this is your chance to avoid hearing it. But FaZe Clan did beat Wildcard 2-0, so we had 2 zeros in the upper bracket semi-finals, which now means the upper bracket final is set as the SI25 Grand Final rematch between FaZe and Team Falcons. Wildcard have dropped to the lower bracket alongside Furia. Wildcard will play the winner of Secret and Weibo on main stage. Furia to play the winner of FLUXO SSG on main stage. Does mean if SSG lose this, Wildcard will be the last standing North American team. FLUXO lose this, it's down to Furia and FaZe for the Brazilians. Into solo goes Volts.
Yeah, good smoke layering here. Very aggressive. SSG already tempting site. Volts to go for the plant attempt, and Ashen on the glass able to cover. Where's the denial from FLUXO W7M? It comes in too late. It's a post.
And it's a post with the multi-up as well. This is a great round from SSG. They understood they got the early solar control, established a position with the layering of the smokes and the glass to get that plant down, and this becomes very difficult for FLUXO. Great headshot from Paolo. He switched on early here in a do-or-die match, trying to get the pinch onto Faults. Paolo just got the solo kill anyway, got him tucked into the corner, and suddenly it's a 3v2 with 19 seconds left. Newers at the window, gets down, and then so does J9O. Paolo, he's on a heater to begin on Chalet. He's gotten 5 kills. They'll get the counter defuse, and it's 1-1 as Paolo begins the trash talk.
Wow, what a retake there from FLUXO. It was very direct, very early in the round from SSG. Layered util for the solar push. Ashen covered very nicely on the Glaz. But then a couple of those positions disrupted in the post. And when you lose those close to the diffuser and you're reliant on outside play, you think double window, you think bathroom bulk, it's tricky for those players to have influence. There's small windows of opportunity, maybe, sure. But FLUXO W7M had a very good read and able to disrupt that nicely.
Paolo, 5 kills in the opening 2 rounds. None more important, though, than the 3K in that one. And it's 2 rounds straight that SSG have been able to get off to a good start, find the early kills, get into a favorable position, get the plant down as well, 2 from 2 in terms of getting plant down here on the attack of Chalet. So a lot of things are looking nice for SSG. So for FLUXO to win that post plant, get a round on the board defensively, despite how good SSG have started, it can go a very long way as we head over to bar games.
Attackers object.
That's not mine going out. Shield ready.
Little bit cheeky from Dots. Early aggro mudroom, maybe seeing if he can net a kill, but SSG are not going to give that opportunity across. The North American squad to bring this Glaz once more in the hands of Ashen, and we saw it be very effective in facilitating the plant last time out. You think about the ability for the Glaz to help on the push over towards top library stairs on this occasion, makes it very challenging for FLUXO W7M to hold that presence, that control. And with no Warden in play potentially to post up on the stairs, we should see that bolstered for the attack. Still requires good drone work for information, flank watch as well. Utility clearance as well will also be of importance, which may actually be a problem for SSG in this round. There are a lack of explosives. Sure, they've got the Capital flush, they can air jab, they've also got the Grim for space, but in terms of explosive utility in this round, it is very, very limited.
Bar games comes down to 2 big set plays. The clear up above library. If you win that battle, then the clear down below. They set up with the layering of the smokes for Ashen on the Glaz.
Start loading.
No one playing library stairs, though. Ashen does see the information behind the deployable shield. Bulb sitting in mudroom. Rather than looking to contest library, probably because he's got 1 HP. So far, though, SSG haven't found anything from this play. In fact, they lose Faults, and then as the smoke dissipates,
so good.
Ashen goes down to Dodes, and that's still top library control for FLUXO.
The discipline there over towards Mez to not over-peak and then catch the timing through the smoke will likely win this round. For FLUXO W7M, SSG not having the explosives to displace this position, and Dodes has played it to perfection. Oh my word.
Oh, 3 from Dodes. He's been so good at Six Invitational thus far. And it doesn't look like slowing down. Great shots on the peak from the deployable shield. Then to turn and go lobby entrance. Leaves poor J9O all by himself. Volps was in mud. He was low. Does get the kill. 40 seconds to clutch a 1v3. If you can find the next, it does open this round still up. Dodes low towards library stairs. And I know, though, Core looking in towards bar. Easy kill. And 2 in a row for FLUXO as they take the lead for the first time on Chalet. The map pick of SSG.
Yeah, clean from Dodes. There was a lack of utility to dislodge him from that position. Again, we saw SSG able to progress forward and gain some space, but the deployable shield left standing. Dodes doesn't over-peak and try and do anything too silly. And the second that Glaz pushes through the smoke, he's favored in that fight, takes it, wins a couple elsewhere, which was a bit of flair for the cherry on top. But overall, much better work there structurally from W7M.
Kitchen Dining, the most attacker-sided site that isn't basement. And I say that in that way because when you kind of look at Chalet, 180 rounds played, basement's only been played 16 times. The other sites are around that 50 to 60 margin. So it has very much dropped off as one of the core sites on this map of Chalet, which leaves Kitchen Dining as the primary site typically for the attacking team to find success. We actually saw that in the opening round, where SSG got on the board with their first round. Since then, FLUXO have looked good.
I have.
Touched on Dodes before, plus 38 KD. Only plus 2 on the entry. But ranked 11th. There are, though,
10 seconds.
like 6 players that are all on 109 EPS. Herd, Benja, Dodes, Ashen, and Flexi from Team Heritage.
What's the tiebreaker?
I don't know what is considered as the tiebreaker, to be honest. And Reaps actually just sits just above all of them on 110 by himself in 8th. And to be honest, when you kind of look at a lot of the numbers, there's no one clear ultra standout so far at this event. Boogeyman, by the way, fun fact, is now rated #1 because of the the Furia result dropping JV92 down.
One thing as well to highlight for Dodo specifically, he has an even split across attack and defense, 109 EPS. Typically, and you look at pretty much any other player inside of the lobby, their defensive EPS is significantly stronger than attack, given naturally the challenges that attack typically has. So if he can tap into that consistency and be impactful in the second half as well, we'll see if SSG can shut it down.
I like the lineup here though for FLUXO. They've got a mix, a bit of trap utility with the Denari along with the Thorn, but you've also still got good defensive reliability from the Tubarao and the Echo, so they can have mixed results in terms of aggression or bringing in defensive. Dots is the one that finds the opening kill onto J90. Not just out thrown from Dots as well towards Solar, but doesn't connect. SSG really taking their time to actually get map control. They're not doing that sweep across. This has allowed Volt to actually push, play mezzanine, so it's a very big contrast to what we saw last time from SSG attacking into this side. They're lacking the ability to get that mezzanine control, put pressure towards that top floor towards offers, and then establish presence down below. Like, there's only just over a minute left. They can't even get Volt into the building as the Blackbeard. They actually went for a little pinch attempt too there with Benjamaster coming down Fireplace stairs, but Volp sensing the pressure is able to get out of there. This is a really good round from FLUXO.
And there's still this lurk potential as well down below for Volps. He can route up Library Stairs or Fireplace lead if required. Piano clear next on the agenda for SSG, but again, it's a shield standing. SSG have not cleared this utility, and it's proving costly.
Yeah, I mean, this is now pretty much round over for SSG, right? Because there's under 40 seconds left, 2v5. You still got to deal with Yokais. You still got to deal with clearing utility down below. It's still 3 Zoto canisters for Dodes as Lupin gets rid of Ashen. Nilwes just runs into bathroom, meets his demise. It's flawless. A clinical round from FLUXO. Have to beg the question, though, for SSG. That was definitely the weakest round we've seen from them through 4 rounds played. The other 3 far more competitive. FLUXO just starting to look like they're switching on nicely here on Chalet as we go into a tactical timeout.
We're gonna start working in the base, take the right tools for what we're gonna do. Take the fucking switch, take the goddamn Blackbeard with a nade so we can work across, and then we're gonna start clearing across these dudes. If it's a basement, it's the only exception. We talk to McGavin or look for a faster ISO. But in general right now, I want to take pace across the map with these guys. And also too, we gotta lighten it up a bit. Like in our voice right now, it's the same thing as before. We're running around, it sounds like fucking, either we're losing, we sound fucking defeated, or when we win, we sound relieved. I can hear the frustration every time we're talking. We're not having fun right now, fellas. Just calm down, relax, and we just gotta fucking play the game of Chalet. It's a simple map, we played it a million times. Or it's on the fucking clearance.
Yeah, let's go. We got this.
Fucking water, guy.
Bro, I
If
feel
it's
like
bar, I'm bringing the Flores.
Well, it's another really good tactical timeout from the coach of SSG. Identifying that the clearance has been a problem for them so far. There's been a couple of times now where even simple pieces such as deployable shields are posing problems against the North American roster. And also like the insight that we're getting in terms of their communication as well, maybe not being as positive as they would like. And so something that they're looking to address going forward, the emphasis on faults to lead the charge. But loving that from Call-Out. He's, in my opinion, being one of the better coaches here at the event.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they'll respond to that nicely. I mean, I think for SSG, they're at their best when they are vocal, when they're loud, when Ashen's yelling. It doesn't have to mean you're winning every single round. And I think as Call-Out said it best, it's like when you're losing, you sound defeated. When you're winning, you sound relieved. Have some fun.
That's not a winner mentality.
It's big. It's a best of three, and it is a big one. There is pressure in this. Sure, it's not just a random group stage game where it's a lot easier to try and psych out the opponent. I think FLUXO is one of the rare teams that I don't think are going to get psyched out by SSG, and if anything, have the capability of giving it back to them, a taste of their own medicine. Palu's just started so well. Along with Dota's continuing his form at Six Invitational. But how do they respond? Do they bring a little bit more aggression? Do they go for that sweep across? Take these contact fights? Last round was, yeah, very much their worst. So it's time to ramp it back up as we go top floor, bedroom office.
Yeah, we heard the call as well for the Blackbeard with grenades. And combined with Newers here on the sledge, they had the explosive utility to deal with things like the traps on offer, the deployable shield from Dodes. Just need to see that translate into the server as they weave across. Oh,
that's not
wow.
I mean, that honestly could have easily gone the other way. The spray from Jane, I know, right idea, just doesn't connect. And then Volps pretty much just fires back in hope, hits the headshot. Win for FLUXO, another opening kill. Got to get this one onto Benja. Caught napping. Lovely kill for Volps. Traded though by Ashen. This is where for SSG, you've got to keep this round alive. Keep it active. Keep pushing. Try and get back to numbers even. It's caught though. Got tagged up heavily. The positioning for SSG right now is being punished by FLUXO. Newers stayed in that vicinity. Then, therefore, an easy clear for Dots. FLUXO with the two-player advantage. Default was up, so Newers was on cam the whole time. Sell him out! Out of the timeout for SSG. Not the response that was needed from Call-Out. Double from Dodes. FLUXO all over the North Americans. 4 rounds straight.
Some big teething issues at the moment for Spacestation Gaming.
They're not even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, FLUXO W7M, they are looking cozy at the moment. They're testing SSG on this map entry. I mean, on that occasion, it's not even a matter of clearance. It's these entry battles on the fringe. They're finding it challenging. The Blackbeard's probably not getting as much value as they otherwise would have liked. I think J90 probably afforded the element of bad luck on that particular occasion over towards Mud. But the follow-up elsewhere, the lack of cutoff, the fundamentals at the moment, unfortunately for SSG, are off to quite a slow start.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I think the first 2-3 rounds actually weren't bad.
Sure. Yep.
Won the first round. Competitive then, I think, in the second as well. Got plant down really early at the 2-minute mark. Volts was able to get the kit down. And then in the third round, competitive again, but it was a Dodes 4K that was the difference. And since then, though, rounds 4-5,
10 seconds remaining.
definitely seen FLUXO just kind of keep taking off in their aggression, finding early kills. They've got now 3 opening kills straight, and pretty early in that last round at the 2:10-minute mark. 4 players alive, 5 players alive. So now we're starting to see that dominance from FLUXO in the last 2 rounds. And no response from SSG. Now they got one more attempt here in this first half to find a second attack. Over to Bar Games we go. And it's a limited site in terms of how much aggression you can really bring in terms of the map control. Bar Games on Chalet really is compact. It's just essentially around that library area and the site itself. Sometimes you might see a small extension towards the office side. Not happening this round. Sometimes you will see one lurk below. That is happening this round in Palu over towards Wine on the Thorn. That's a big clear.
That's better. I mean, you take your mind back to
got the
last
ADS, got the deployable shield, weakens this mezzanine position, opens up the floorboard to below. So that one Rotero does like 3 different things.
Yeah. A lovely work from J90. And then we'll see what the follow-up is like here from SSG. If this teamwork is in sync for this clearance. A lot of lurk threat on offer this round from FLUXO W7M. Dots below, Palu basement, Loban up close,
Great. Loban's just
flames out
flames.
at court.
That's much better for SSG. Take your time, relax, execute when you need to, together.
Another good flame.
So far, Fultz's counter usage in this round has really been good. Cleared out Lopin, Dodas as well, then pressured off, tried to drop too late, gets caught. Forcing now Dots to retake up above, and he does at least get the kill onto J90. Don't forget about Palu 2 playing bottom library stairs, so he too will have influence. Volp's actually still over towards Piano. So FLUXO now down a player, but playing the maps, giving a bit more site control over to SSG, but then offering the ability to collapse back into the site.
J90 does have a camera over towards Office. He's flicking that, so there should be decent flank watch here on offer for SSG.
Volps is pushing Piano though. Are they aware of it? Newers is not turning around, still at the mezzanine. Doltz goes down. Volps is going to make the move. Volps, you have to go now. Pinch with Palu up above. Go together. And that's exactly what they will do. Plant is going down. Palu does get the kill. Can he go and deny Fultz? Volp's got his. Nice shot from Ashen though. Hitting that was able to protect Fultz so he could get the plant down, and Volps now is low on health. Default plant. Both will play Barstock together for Fultz and Ashen.
Good luck, Volps. Look, they double stack. Fultz is low, but Ashen on the Blackbeard should be very difficult to clear.
He can see the Blackbeard of Ashen. He's got to go now, though. Volps, you've got to play the time. Try and force them out of this Barstock position. Frag grenade thrown from Ashen, just to delay. Little move as well to play towards Bar. Fultz will stay tucked into the corner. There's no time. Round's done. SSG get their second attack at the end of the half.
Well, it started to feel like SSG were maybe starting to stall out, but they still get 2 attacking rounds in the half with the asterisks of it being Chalet, so interpret that how you will. But I think being able to at least get the 2, given the position they started to find themselves in, is still quite positive for them. There's room for improvement, but they can look to play themselves into this map, and the remainder of this series, they remain composed and playing some good siege in that last round with great clearance, really good flank watch, and prevented any plays elsewhere around the map. Some good drone work, and J90 whilst dead was flicking that. So yeah, some better fundamentals from SSG that time out.
I mean, you put the asterisks, it's essentially a 50-50 map.
Exactly. My point being, right, on most maps 2, you'd be like, yeah, that's all right, given the position. But on Chalet 50-50, it's still FLUXO W7M in the driver's seat, in my opinion.
So we got the Vans, Zami, Mirror, Grim, and Dockerby. Kitchen Dining, first site choice for Space Station. As we look at the highlights, again, started really well in this round. Great use from Fultz on the camper tower to clear out the back corner position of the library. But a big power play from Doltz to get that kill into J90, and the pin from Palu and Volps was actually really solid. Got to each. It was Ashen, though. That plant was still actively going down for Fultz. If Ashen doesn't get that kill, that plant gets denied.
Yeah.
It's probably round 1 for FLUXO. So a big power play from Ashen to get them their second round. But they're going to have to be really solid defensively
Attackers have discovered
and withstand the
location
attack of FLUXO. Otherwise, if SSG lose this, we go Clubhouse, and that's the pick of FLUXO W7M. 5 of 6 rounds, opening kill converted. There were 3 plants, though, for SSG.
10 seconds left before.
I mean, that's actually a very strong, usually winning
5 seconds
metric. SSG rated 6th for plant percentage at S side, 26%.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
On the flip side, FLUXO 14th at 19%.
Reloading.
But in those rounds that they got the plants down, I mean, 2 of them were won, 1 was lost. So losing that second round was the most costly. You win that second round, if there is no 3K clutch from Palu, it's a 3-3 scoreline, whole different ballpark.
Yep.
The big moments matter, especially in these big games.
It's Dodge with the diffuser this round. And I do wonder how FLUXO W7M are going to look to posture here with options available in terms of that utility clearance with quad grenades, sledge as well. They're bringing the counter tools against this castle from SSG. You think about the clash as well from Fultz. I love this lineup from W7M. I think it really has the potential to disrupt what SSG are looking to cook up. Don't discount Ashen as well. Currently down below. car garage on that Solace, and he'll come into play later in the round as well for potential denial.
Yeah, but top floor is the big focus here for FLUXO. When you bring in the sledge and the ram on a kitchen dining site, you want to clear out, get this office control. So onus is going to be on Ewers, playing in and around office. He'll need support. He'll need help. And what Volts is really doing over towards Library is just delay, get a lot of information. Loban was able to drone on through. Makes it a lot harder with that clash up for FLUXO to brute force, take this office position. Ewers aggressive towards Ego. Now, if he loses a fight here and goes down, office gets opened up, and there you go, happens there. Dodos, great shot, headshot. Now, suddenly, you're getting overwhelmed on the clash as well for Volts. Over towards Piano, he's pushed back. It's now office control for FLUXO. Even though they lost Loban, that doesn't matter. You don't need the blitz here. You've got the ram, you've got the sledge, you've got top floor, you've got the next minute. What I want to see from SSG is, do they get aggressive here? Or do they hold towards Solar? Nitro for Benja, beautifully played to get that kill onto Dodez. Advantage for SSG. Do they go for a retake of office?
Yellow ping onto J90. Unable to escape. Volts doesn't catch that timing, but does get caught from down below.
Oh, yeah, they got them. Well, it's good positioning from Palu because FLUXO are pushing them across, back down trophy stairs. There goes Ashen. So they were, instead of going back towards office, they retreated towards down trophy. And unfortunately, FLUXO had numbers set up for it. Really good read from FLUXO. Benja's got his third in the round. He might need the ace if SSG to win this. But he's low on health. Palu swings again. He goes double digits, and it's down to Faults in a 1v2.
10 seconds for Faults to hold on.
Got to deny this plant. Palu will be watching. He will be the guardian for Dots, the stick. Volts all down to the SMG. No more shield in play. Dots planting inside a kitchen. Volts, though, the tripwire connector. 40 seconds now into the post plant. He'll still give himself an opportunity. But he's playing this rather slow, trying to find an angle, trying to find the gap. Palu playing trophy stairs, but Dots on site on the kit was able to get the wall bang. He had the information. FLUXO all over SSG as they take a 5-2 lead on Chalet on SSG's map pick.
Really nice work. But we're seeing, and that round a great example, FLUXO W7M's ability to manipulate the map and then cut off rotations. It's very classic Chalet. They're playing it by the book at the moment. Credit to Benja. I mean, he put in an incredible effort to find 3 kills in that round, and the first 2 arguably should have been enough for them to be able to win out the round. But that wasn't the case, and FLUXO are fired up.
And this is not to be critical of Faults, but analyzing the situation there, the 1v2, plant hasn't gone down yet. 10 seconds on the clock. You've got 2 options. You either sit back and you hope that FLUXO, someone makes a mistake, which is essentially the option Faults went for, or you go for both, and you understand the situation. One has to plant, and the other one has to cover. Essentially a 1v1. So if I get aggressive and I beat the cover guy, very likely I can then win the round. Back yourself in. Understand though, yes, he's playing the clash, maybe not the best operator for it in that scenario, but he chose option B. Plant goes down, then you're now in a 1v2 post plant, and they're able to peel back off. They get trophy position and still maintain Dots in sight, and at that point they're so split. And as you push forward, very difficult to win. Would have liked to have maybe seen Folds go for the more high risk, high reward, which might have been more beneficial for his team. Now they're 3 rounds down.
So the Solace will continue here. Ashen, run out. He's caught. Dead.
Oh no.
Baited in by Palu, who has a cheeky laugh, and it's 11
that's
kills.
More than a cheeky laugh. Palu's chuckling. He's still going. He hasn't stopped. Baited, and Ashen trying to make a hero play goes down. They've only had 1 opening kill, guys. In the last 6 rounds, have SSG. They're getting torn apart here on Chalet. FLUXO outclassing them, outplaying them, baiting them, getting early advantages, winning the late round. No one is going positive for SSG. This is not a case of 1 or 2 players playing extraordinarily well and the rest of the team may be lagging behind. They are just 5 players of SSG right now, outclassed from the 5 players of FLUXO.
So it's Palu over towards lobby initially for the lurk. Deathmark to offer more information now to the rest of the push. Minute 30 to go, so we've eclipsed the midpoint of this action phase. Faults targeted down over towards Games, looking to offer support. Anua is forced to peel.
Oh, this is just absolutely a tragedy for SSG. They've capitulated. After starting brightly in the first couple of rounds, it's all FLUXO. The lowest rated player of FLUXO is equal to the highest rated player of SSG. That is how damning of a beatdown this is. In a do-or-die elimination game, SSG have not shown up on their map pick of Chalet. FLUXO are flexing their muscles. As Loban finds 2 in the round, it's a 5v1 down to Newers, and let's be real, let's be honest with ourselves. It's flawless, it's 6-2. This map looks done.
It's actually kind of astonishing just how one-sided this map is playing out so far.
Carly just said in the chat, you can't kill me, what's going on?
He's also been very, very quiet. I don't think we've heard Ashen yell once over the course of this map.
He hasn't. It's 12-3 for Palu with a 1-0 entry, a 100% cost through 8 rounds played, which is incredible. And he's just chuckling and laughing. Like he's not even getting tested. This is like group stage day 1 kind of mentality right now. This is a lower bracket round 3 at SI. To make top 6, to make main stage, SSG need to raise the stakes. And it might not be here on Chalet, but it has to be on Clubhouse. You have to play better than this. But FLUXO right now are just doing nothing wrong.
So a last-ditched attempt potentially here for Space Station. It's basement on Chalet, trying to keep their heads above water. It's been incredibly lopsided in favor of the Brazilians. What does Space Station have left in the tank here for map number 1?
Yeah, do they have the quality now to, you know, rattle off 4 rounds straight? You're down and out, you're maybe a little bit depressed at the moment with how things have transpired, but you've just got to lock in 1 round at a time, bring it back, try and find some hope, some enthusiasm. We heard Call Out say before when they were losing rounds, they just sounded depressed. But credit to FLUXO, the way that they've been playing, they've just taken it right up to SSG. They're playing the early game, they're playing aggressive, they're playing like SSG were playing throughout the course of SI up to this point. Doing it as a team led by Palu. 3 options for Dodez with the death marks. By the way, as we go to basement, this is the most attacker-sided site on Chalet.
Tracker on hostile.
Heavily so as well. It is at a 68% attacker win rate. So this is a desperate play, a desperate ploy from SSG to stay alive on this map. And a lot of emphasis will be on Ashen on the Vigil.
Yeah, he did get droned, but he's going to hold his ground for now as opposed to peel back. May look to try and find a timing later in the round when FLUXO W7M set up for this push. Faults go searching for information front door.
There's the desperation, isn't it?
I think there's an element of it in this round for sure. FLUXO have been able to set themselves up really nicely for this execute in the meantime. The Rams got it to work. The hatches are opened up. They've got a lot of utility that they can layer late round as well. It feels like this attack is circling like sharks.
Say that though, but the time does start to dwindle down and they still haven't really cleared out Ashen. You still got West main control if you're SSG. They lose Faults towards Library Stairs as Dodez finally made his move. Oh, Newest though, nice headshot onto Dodez to get that trade, but they lost the Vigil battle. Ashen goes down to Palu. Right in his pocket, he stays. The plate will go down inside of Snow. Palu got another one. Map's done. It's only J90 that remains as SSG have been beaten to a pulp on Chalet on their map pick and will now be facing elimination from Six Invitational. As FLUXO W7M steal their opponent's map. They're 1 round away from main stage, and SSG are on the ropes, 1 round away from being eliminated.
It's not often you see such a one-sided map in an elimination match at the Six Invitational, but FLUXO W7M looking red hot at the moment. Palu leading the charge with 14 kills. SSG on the other side of this break. Can they bite back?
FLUXO W7M steal SSG's map pick. And now the North Americans, they're on the ropes. They're down, but they're not out. And by any means, this could go the distance. But right now, we're just not seeing enough out of them.
No, we certainly aren't. And Fox, there's one thing that we talked about and just hit the hammer on the head about was Hollow and Dotas can't do everything, right?
Well, it seems like they can. All throughout that game, it was big play after big play from these two massive players. I mean, Paul, right off the gate, being able to get a 1v3, 3K, I mean, with a jump out. And then I really want to commend the strategy behind this next play of Dotas, playing behind the shield. Something classic, but so deadly behind the shield. SSG, a little bit of a blunder, not dealing with it right away. And he just gets all 3 kills, and the 4th when they clean it up. And it was just amazing play after amazing play. And that's what we talked about, that they can't just rely on it. Just that, but it makes it that much easier when they have all of it and more. The trades were coming into effect. The opening kills, everything from the side of FLUXO W7M was perfect this game.
I mean, I feel a little bad. I feel like I cursed SSG going into this. I was saying they had all the tools in the shed to be able to overthrow this FLUXO roster. Going into this map, it should be a good one, and they just looked dead in the water. It's definitely not the SSG that we're used to seeing. Even the mind games coming from FLUXO, they were using exactly the same strategy and tactics that SSG uses on everyone throughout. And again, it is shocking to see the result of that map.
That might be the biggest smile I think I've seen on Palu at an event like this deep into the tournament. He's smiling. He's having a great time. I know what you're pointing at. What on earth?
Again, look at the side of FLUXO W7M compared to that SSG side.
Crazy.
I said SSG just needed those entries to be able to convert them. They were only able to convert one of those entries, and then on the side of FLUXO, they were able to convert every single one of those opening kills going into their favor.
I mean, everything they were doing was very sound. They weren't playing too over-aggressive. They were playing a lot more together, and it seems like a different version of FLUXO W7M that we've seen throughout the rest of this tournament, that they've gone back and forth, they lose opening kills, and they've relied on these big plays to be able to win, but that is not what we saw. The strategy of taking their time, finding those opening picks, managing SSG's aggression, and we saw it in the timeout. That call out took essentially what he was saying to the SSG guys is we need to take a lot more space because they're just fighting us head on wherever we try to enter, and we're losing it. We didn't see SSG adapt fast enough into Chalet. I mean, 7-2 is an abysmal way.
We didn't even see them really play.
Yeah, we didn't see them at all. But Clubhouse is another opportunity, but that being said, FLUXO W7M has the momentum.
They certainly do. SSG, they looked all but out of it in that first map. They've got to bounce back in a big way here as we head to Clubhouse.
Indeed, they've got to bounce back and quickly, or they face elimination for the North American team. It's do or die. Must win Clubhouse, must get this to a 3rd map. Otherwise, FLUXO, well, they're on the verge of main stage. Win this, and they will be taking on their brothers from the Brazilian region, Infuria.
Yeah, SSG, the momentum is against them. Can they bounce back on Club?
An outstanding performance from FLUXO W7M on the map pick of SSG. Sets them up perfectly. They go to their map pick now of Clubhouse to try and finish this series off. They've got a 6-3 record over the last 6 months. Their last win, though, was 68 days ago against FaZe. The SSG 5-3 record, their last win was against Shopify Rebellion yesterday, 7-3. So a little bit more recency for SSG. This series is not a foregone conclusion. North American fans, certainly, you shouldn't be giving up hope.
No, absolutely. But unfortunately, as the desk kind of alluded to, we didn't really see SSG at all inside of the server for map 1. It was a straight whitewash. They didn't respond particularly well in the tactical timeout. And so for them, it's about stepping it up here, digging deep. Map 2, this is their tournament life on the line.
SSG begin defense, which I think is where you want to begin on this particular map. Clubhouse, start strong, get off to a good start, build that momentum, because all the momentum so far is certainly with their opponents in FLUXO. After a 7-2 beatdown on Chalet, get off to a good start. win a couple of rounds, build that belief back up, get the energy back up, and we need to see some vocal as well from Ashen, because it really does help SSG.
I don't think we heard him once,
Attackers
which
have
is
located a bomb.
remarkable.
10 seconds left
More
before
often than
insertion.
not, we see SSG up and about and their energy
seconds to
levels
go.
high. And this isn't just us saying it or guessing it. We quite literally heard it in the
Attackers are
tactical
heading out
timeout
to
from
defuse the bomb.
callout, saying, guys, when we win, we sound relieved, and when we lose, we sound defeated.
Yeah.
They were lost mentally over the course of Chalet, but that's the beauty of a best of 3. They've been able to sit back, relax, reset, and Clubhouse can play out in a very different fashion.
We just saw Clubhouse, of course, in our previous series. Super aggressive from Falcons and Furia. We wonder how this one's going to play out. Will it be a bit more default in style, in nature, and try and play a little bit more of that slower tempo? But, I mean, these are two aggressive teams, as we saw on Chalet. FLUXO can play to that high aggression. We know SSG more than happy to play to that high aggression throughout the entirety of SI. Do they go into their shells here? There was a little jump out secret from Newers. Jazz actually kind of baited Volps over. Newers is going to fall back over towards basement. He's still got Volts still top main stairs, but he'll be able to rotate down below. Benja is actually lurking pull. He can, of course, drop as well. SSG have certainly played the map here, trying to draw out a lot of drones, force FLUXO to waste time in clearing out their positions. Deathmark doesn't connect because of the mute jammer. There's the Nitro Stun. Nice shot from Lope. Again, what this is doing, though, is buying time for SSG.
No, absolutely, but unfortunately for them, it's Benja the first to fall. Dodez has looked red hot in this series so far.
And they were so close to SSG too. If they had got Benja back down below, 5 sight at this point, you would have considered a small win. Marginally, yes, but still a small win. Now that you've lost Benja, job done FLUXO. Yeah, it took them a little bit of time to clear through, and time was certainly wasted, but you got that pick. Now you got the numbers advantage, you can flood sight. So suddenly, it flipped just like that. And this is where for SSG, you got to stay locked in. You can't be defeated already just because you got the opening death. But here comes Dodez with the skeleton key, open up the floorboards, and as we enter the final minute, this is the setup now for FLUXO on their execute.
Can SSG play disruptors then for this final push? Diffuser in the hands of Dots. He's situated over towards main stairs. Could pivot for a kitchen drop. Pinch pressure on offer elsewhere over towards blue as well here for the attack. But it does need to be clean from here. There's little in the way of time for FLUXO W7M to pivot if needed.
Nitro, nicely positioned though from Dots to eat the majority of that without being knocked down. Flash onto Ashen is perfect. No one pushes just yet though. He stays tucked in at Church Wall. Dano holding towards dirt. No dirt push coming as we enter the final 12 seconds of the round. Again, this is where the numbers are with FLUXO though. Next kill so important. Good down onto Dot. Got a bit of help from that earlier Nitro. Volts though overwhelmed. Up close. Shotgun double from Ashen. Better from SSG. Despite the extra man advantage, they hold strong on basement.
I heard Ashen there, I believe, in the background saying, late round, they are so bad. And to be fair, we didn't really see a lot of the late round tested from FLUXO W7M last time out on Chalet because the early to mid round was so clean. They took a lot of control and typically had a significant advantage. So some good anchor work there from SSG. Ashen over towards triple. Fault's got the first on the Blackbeard to actually enable him to then do good anchor work. And overall, much better work there from the North Americans.
Yeah, good cover here as well because Volts gets that kill. Ashen is then able to stay tucked into the triple wall without being cleared because they're more focused about the direct pressure coming from the middle of the site. He then gets 2 kills on the swing. Good team play from SSG. Certainly for FLUXO, they had the extra man advantage with a minute to go. They were able to get a lot of the setup that they wanted. Didn't quite execute, but a lot of that came down to SSG staying compact, playing good positions off each other. That was just really good defense, especially when down a man. Good way to open up the map. We go to Cash and CCTV to follow up.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
For SSG, it's about continuing to roll any semblance of momentum and positivity forward across each unique site and not just being one tricks down below on basement, which can sometimes be the case on a map starred like Club. for this defensive effort. We do see some trap util employed, the Thorn to be selected. Of course, buffed heading into this event, and it's seen a pretty decent chunk of playtime and good impact with the debuff and the trigger now being far faster. Oh, the Echo was also selected, but unfortunately has disconnected, and so a rehost has been called, and the lobby will be remade.
Yeah, again, another early rehost. We had one actually before even the first round on Chalet. Now we have one after one round here on Clubhouse, but a good round for SSG and exactly what they needed. I mean, in a best of 3, when you get absolutely demolished on the opening map, your map pick, nothing worked, nothing was going your way. You couldn't win end of rounds, you couldn't win early rounds, you certainly weren't winning the mid rounds. Literally nothing. There was not one thing that you could point to and say for SSG, yeah, they kind of did okay in this area. So to kickstart Clubhouse, opening death, you're thinking, okay, maybe more of the same. But they were able to just sort of respond. They understood how to play default club towards the end, play together, play off each other, and that got them the reward. That also got them vocal. That was probably the loudest we'd heard them since maybe the opening round of Chalet. Yep. The main thing is to maintain that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of their biggest strengths for SSG typically has been energy levels and positivity and being really hyper-focused.
Trying to get into the minds of the opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd be looking to fully lean into that in this matchup. Especially if tactically maybe they find themselves at a deficit, they need to find other ways to get themselves into this matchup.
That's the hard part. When you're getting beaten 7-2, it's very difficult to see Ashen sitting there with his hands over his mouth shouting at the opponents when you're, 5-2 down, 6-2 down. You're just not going to get that out of him. But if you can string 2-3 rounds to begin, you get a 3-0 lead on Clubhouse. That's when you're going to get that vocal strength of SSG. Just got to back it up inside of the server, and they were able to do that in the opening round. And the longer this goes on Club, if SSG just kind of start to really get on a roll, especially in this first half, then you're FLUXO W7M sitting back, geez, do we have to go play this third map of Border? Where it's not a great map for FLUXO. In fact, they've got a negative record on it, 3-4. Last win, of course, was against D+ a couple of days ago, but that was an 8-7. Lost it to Oxygen, and SSG beat FLUXO on it 3 days ago. So SSG will sit back, and I'm sure Callout would have even said it, and have heard a lot of teams throughout this event when they finish the first map and they are talking outside, mentioning the maps and where their strengths are, and saying something like, we lost the first one, doesn't matter. Get this, we know we can win the next one. And I think SSG will be saying that. Win Club, we know we can beat them on Border. Let's go, boys. Because you can get your merchandise at the pop-up store here in Paris. You can also get your skin bundles.
Whoa, fortified! Down!
I don't think you make a very good salesman. You were direct and to the point, so I respect that.
Straight to the point.
Well, back into the action then. Cash CCTV, the site of choice.
5 seconds remaining.
And the lineup here from SSG will be identical to what it was prior to the rehost. They're backing themselves in here. Again, Thorn in play. We'll see how much impact that may have. The trap utility can be really good at slowing down pushes Jacuzzi side across. Can also be stacked over towards rafters to make that a little bit more of a challenge if it is to be executed here. But with the Capital banned out and no Monty selected, it should be con side. The Thorn almost caught. Loban with a golden opportunity there on the Deimos. Unfortunately, though, he does not convert. Benja with a Nitro elsewhere as well. Logi, that too misses the mark.
I mean, the benefit of the Thorn is it's the kind of operator where, especially in this case, Charlie, all your Razor Blooms, you can get aggressive. Die, that's fine. The Razor Blooms can still have an impact in the round later on. On the flip side, if it's something like Deimos that dies, well, that's big, because then the death marks are just gone.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen some players of the Thorn often actually hold util for late rounds so that it can be a little bit more directed to where the push is coming from. But yeah, certainly on this occasion it was all deployed.
It was a drone on the other side of Waits, but it has now been shot out by Newers. Of the death mark, right on to Newers. Right on time.
Target located. Second floor.
Tracker out.
And the quick drop down as Loban gets aggressive to Vendetta, doesn't find the kill. Newers still alive, still inside a gym. Plank going down though inside a CCTV. FLUXO have got sight, but the Yokai is preventing the plant, and then the gas babe at the server racks. This is a great play from SSG. Wonderful. Play off site, rely on the yokai and the gas babes, and it worked perfectly. They lured FLUXO into an open site. This is a wonderful round from SSG. Bolt's more, because he knows the pressure's coming back. This is the best round that we've seen from Spacestation all series long.
Yeah, that was really quite nice. With J90 having Rafters control, Presence top red from SSG, and the util layering in towards default, where are they meant to play? There was so little play space inside of the objective and even less opportunity to make plays on the side of the attack, that they circled around SSG and they were able to win the round.
Basically baited them into an open CCTV site. They had the gym extension, gym bedroom extension.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you're putting a lot of reliance there, of course, into Faults to hit the yokai burst. He did, followed up then. Gas Babe from Ashen, so job done from those two. It's a really nice round from SSG. You can't be too critical of FLUXO, because if they get the plant off and they've got site control, it's a winnable position. So there is risk and reward in that sort of playstyle on the defense from Spacestation, but it's rewarded handsomely.
5 seconds to go.
Ashen up to 5 kills. I mean, I said coming into this game, you look at his numbers, and 109 EPS, plus 16 on the opening kills, plus 28 KD. He's been one of the best players at Six Invitational so far. If he gets the confidence, he starts to get on a roll. That's a big power boost for SSG. FLUXO now know, okay, they're on defense, they're getting off to a good start. What can we do to break them down?
Yeah, probably a little bit of a wake-up call for FLUXO W7M, that perhaps here on Clubhouse it's going to be a little bit more of a grind to hit that scoreboard, especially in comparison to Chalet, where relatively early on they were already walking all over SSG.
A really big fucking hole coming right up.
Gym bedroom for round 3. And a wave across here from the attack, spearheaded with primary hard breach of Volps. Palu as well, with the ace available to help aid on the cache clear. SSG in response have a stack top red, Newers inside of cache. They are eager to fight against this clear.
Made a new way through.
I think one of the biggest things you can do on Club is, if you're playing default, to still have some kind of adaptability. That counter punch, that counter aggression, the right time in the right places. If you keep it too default for too long, makes it an easy read for the attacking team. This is, again, conservative right now from SSG as of this current moment. But at some point, then they can flip it. Even this here from Benja just goes, checks main stairs.
Faults as well, Basement, and Benja for Nitro, that could play potentially for Vert. So this is the X factor in the round for SSG. They fall off cache very early, very carefree. They need to find other win conditions now to try and disrupt this attack. FLUXO surrounding site with a full minute remaining. Diffuser juggled over towards cache. Benja below, Faults Basement. Keep that in mind for SSG as FLUXO pepper into sight.
Get rid of Ashen as he tried to make the cross bathroom, and also Jim. Faults with a response at least onto Dodos after they also lost Newers. Needed that kill from over towards Garage. Palu though gets rid of J90. Salt vulnerable. Well, yeah, this one's done. FLUXO just flick up the switch immediately to the on button, and immediately they're able to get site control, get the kills. Nothing goes right for SSG. They had Faults as some kind of a pivot over towards Garage side, but it then left the site vulnerable. Easy take, easy clear. Faults surely not going to be able to win this one. The triple stack main stairs coming his way. That's one. Could have maybe then got the second. Had he done so, would have made it interesting. Site relief for Palu. FLUXO W7M on the board.
Yeah, I mean, initially the clear cache side was really clean, very clinical. SSG wanting to play low risk, immediately peel back through con towards site. The nature of Jim Benjamin being, though, that trying to sit on site for a minute and a half, minute 45 is very, very, very tough. So they have Benja below. They have Faults to potentially contest Bells late. And it did weaken sight. We saw the pepper in from Loban, Dodez, good for 2. And by the time Faults was finally able to get into a playmaking position, it was already quite late. Didn't net the 2 required to even out that man count. Benja's impact was limited. And FLUXO W7M able to fortify that site control. With that, they get their first round of the half. And as expected, it's back down to basement for SSG. The castle in play, the scope post in play. So they should be off-site action in this round.
And this is where for SSG, don't go into your shells. Okay, you lost 1 round. Okay, things didn't quite go your way. But that doesn't mean you immediately revert back and play within your shells. Now, how does Benja play this? Does he go for a strip, essentially lurk? I mean, I like the strip lurks on the Scopos. Because a lot of the times, if you're going to get pushed, usually it's maybe by one person coming through bar. You get that kill, and you can immediately then transfer back to site. Job done. 5v4 then for the defense. Lotus does have information there with a nice cam. So they've been able to spot out Newers, but Newers will be the one to kind of take the presence here in this position, then drop, fall back, and hope then that Benja doesn't get cleared.
That's not a full commit from Benja.
Well, Newers goes down, so he lost his contact. He needed to be more wary of the fact that he was on cam. Good swing from Benja that at least gets rid of Palu. One of the hard breaches eliminated, but I mean, hard breach at this point is not going to be a factor because you got the ace and 4 secondaries. Ashen just caught towards Garage. So again, SSG are clearly trying to be aggressive, but at this point now, it's starting to then get into the realms of sloppy aggression.
Faults main, SMG, he needs to find a multi in this round as Benja falls and the aggression from SSG is being tamed.
Yeah.
FLUXO W7M know what they are doing. They're ready for it. And Loban, well, he might catch a timing. Yeah, Fault spotted. That's communicated.
Case of being, you know, you're down a player, you want to try and get one back.
Yeah.
And you're in that attacker mindset on the defense. But credit to FLUXO because they've started to switch on. They're reading kind of how SSG are playing. Overcommit from Faults because, again, he's in that same mindset to 2v4. Well, I got to do something. But clearly FLUXO are aware of that, and most of the top teams will always be aware of it in this situation. If they don't go searching and they stay sight, we'll get to them eventually anyway. So be ready for the push. They were. Leaves J9O by himself. Hits the shots onto Lopan. Turn around, the Monty though still shield up. Goes the pistol play, hits the headshot, and suddenly a 1v2. But Low Health needs to create the rotate. He did so, but Dodez then gets into a strong position, shoots him in the back, all tied on Clubhouse. 2 attacking rounds for FLUXO.
SSG call a tactical timeout, sensing there is a momentum swing on the cards.
All right, you guys hear me? Yeah. For the cash, pick whatever cash you want to. I think they're probably going to go for more of a fucking gem side over. Like, they might go Raptor. I think they're going to keep clearing on us.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then after that, we go back to basement. That's what I want to focus on. When we go back down there, let's more so do an anchor. You can do a fake roll if you want to, but like layer down pretty quick, reinforce the hatches off. Let's use the Azami and the Jaeger paired for like blue and for fucking church side along with the Goyo. And just stack it hard. Like on the church area for the end, because they're going to get the wall up if they want to at the end.
Yeah.
Good though. Goyo, smoke, Jaeger, Azami. You can fill out the last one. Doesn't really matter. You can do ID. Do a fake roll on top.
Okay.
Alright, what cash?
Let's do our, like our fucking, honestly, simulator. Let's just do our 41.
I like the fact that it's kept strategic. It's not necessarily just a rev up. It's keep it focused, stay locked in. You got 2 more rounds in this half to get to that, you know, probably magical 4 number on the defensive Clubhouse. Do that, you're in a better position. Started well, won the first 2 rounds, but here come FLUXO. They're starting to read SSG a lot better. Early round aggression. But at this point, it's a 4 versus 4. If SSG wanted to, that is actually a point which you can go back to site. You don't have to commit to this kind of roam game. But they opt to commit. They stay in awkward positions. You know, Ashen by himself towards Garage. He's been droned out. He stays instead of going down Oil Pit. Costs him his life. Benja stays lurking around Kitchen. Cost him his life. Naturally, at that point, then FLUXO have just done so much of the groundwork in the round that you see Newers is like, well, I kind of need to do something. Loses his life in 4v1.
5 seconds to go.
Cash and CCTV won in the second round by SSG, and it was a very good round. The 2 rounds that SSG won to begin this map, clinical. Credit to FLUXO, they've been able to refine that form from Chalet very quickly, forcing the timeout of SSG.
Yeah, the dynamic is feeling a little bit akin to Chalet. Of course, it was just the one opening round for SSG, but they looked really good. And then from that point onwards, FLUXO had some phenomenal reads. So for SSG, it's about now being able to adapt themselves. Had an opportunity, of course, for that tack timeout with Callout to have a chat, and it was purely strategic for these next 2 rounds, sensing the importance of the conclusion of this half, as it could well determine their fate here at this event in this elimination match. Top down for FLUXO, map control forfeited. That being said, not fully. There's still 3 players above on this second floor. Benja caught.
And now starting to lose these early battles again, like Chalet. SSG want to play aggressive. They don't want to be ultra defensive. They'll probably feel like that's just going to give easier avenues for FLUXO. But at the same time, if you're losing on these aggression plays, it doesn't matter then. Switch it up. Another opening kill for FLUXO W7M. A 3rd attacking round would be so devastating for the North Americans. Now Paolo can get to work, open up kennels, put pressure towards CCTV. J90 turning his attention rafters from garage door over towards the breach. Faults is there though on the clash, but what this is doing is creating so much space now for FLUXO. They've taken they can get lounge. You can see that SSG are really feeling the pressure and feeling the heat. There's a shoulder on the Loben. Newers will connect. They lose Volts. Back to a 3v3. And Dots is low on health on this blitz. Reloading. But they lose Ashen. Paolo goes nuts again. SSG need to connect, but Volts shot in the back. It's down to J90, but here comes Daddy Paolo. A 3rd straight for FLUXO. 4 rounds away from knocking out Spacestation Gaming.
Paolo has been a bit of a sleeping beast here on Clubhouse, but he has awoken. FLUXO W7M as a team have come to life on map 2, and everything that SSG are trying
out of the
is falling short.
Nothing's working. You try and play aggressive now, it's not working. It's starting to look like Chalet again. These last 3 rounds now look like Chalet. Nothing's working. FLUXO are getting the early battles to work. They know that SSG want to try and play a little bit more aggressive rather than playing more towards the site.
Jammer ready to activate.
And FLUXO have played so well in this series. They're the deserving team at this point. 3-2, round 6 of the second map. They deserve to move forward. It's up to SSG now. Turn things around, bring it back, get us to a 3rd map if they feel they're ready for main stage. But right now, with 4 rounds away for FLUXO, they deserve it. Just got to finish the job.
So the mutant play then for this basement site, and again, we heard during the tactical timeout that the call for this particular objective was let's anchor fake roam if you want. So let's see how SSG now try to deploy that.
Bother fake roaming at this point of your SSG. You're probably going to lose someone. Just all 5 stay basement.
Well, they pretty much are, right? They've deployed that utility up above to maybe draw FLUXO in and try and waste them more time so that they can bolster the anchor. It doesn't really look like it's been played into all too much, though. No. So unfortunately for SSG, this setup is not being particularly effective when you think about the lurk over towards Strip already from Loben. There's pressure over towards Blue Hatch. The top 4 is just untouched.
Yeah, this is now SSG conceding. This is the first time, really, they've conceded now in Clubhouse and say, they're just beating us. We have to play site, basement club. Very winnable. There's going to be a site on Clubhouse where you can play just 5 site, hope for the best. It is this one. They just need a round. They need to reset mentally, go into the half 3-3. So they concede the aggression, they give the full map over to FLUXO. And FLUXO have got the best looking lineup for this kind of play. You've got the Buck, who will just basically have free reign over towards Kitchen Hallway, Kitchen itself. Then you've got Candelas for the execute. You've got the Monty for the execute. Flashes as well from both hard breaches. And with no warden selected, those will be lethal. Nitrosol thrown up from Ashen. Doesn't connect. It gets shot out. Great reaction from FLUXO.
That's remarkable. That could have been 2 kills for SSG. But now there's a minute 10 on the clock. It's a 5v5. Lots of util on offer for the attack.
And no nitros left.
Win conditions dwindling.
So you got no nitro now for the Monty. The Gaps Papers will be your best utility to delay these pushes towards, you know, for example, bot main. 50 seconds. Let's be real, this feels like must-win territory for Spacestation. Dodes out of charges for the Skeleton Key.
It'll be a kitchen drop here. Flames to stall it out initially, but there's still time available for the Brazilians.
2 Gaps Papers to throw him, 1 bot main, 1 towards Moto. He's got 1 left.
30 seconds, time ticking down, dots. When do you make your move?
You probably go once these flames are extinguished, no? Volps has actually dropped into Moto. Loban bot main forced back by the final gas babe. Are they even aware of Volps' position? Dots has now made the drop. J9O is going to push out of the smoke and try and take close contact against Dots. He's trying to push straight into him. 2, 3 kills go the way of SSG. They surround Dots on the Monty. They were so quick. Once FLUXO made their move, SSG responded. Flawless in the end. The bunker down, basement works, all tied at the half.
There we go.
Jumper off for Benja.
It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Well, they found their trigger point in that round as a defensive unit to push forward. We saw good disruptive utility. The attack got cordoned off. They weren't able to split it effectively, and as a team, it allowed the lights of J9O to push forward. It meant that the Monty was isolated, and that may well be one of the better rounds, maybe even the best round we've actually seen from SSG over the course of this series in terms of raw teamwork and their ability to respond to their opposition. 3-3 the scoreline. They remain a chance.
Yeah, but they go into the attack now. They back to Chalet, only managed 2 attacking rounds at a map that offers more attacking prowess typically. SSG coming into today were the second best rated attacking team at the tournament though. So we look at the highlights from the previous play. Again, just the ability for them to go 3-2-1 as a team, all push in, understand what they all need to do. Ashen trying to get the team pumped up. Ben just taking the jumper off. SSG now locked in for this second half.
A picture tells 1,000 words, and this is a big extension from FLUXO to open up this defensive half. They want to test SSG. They want to try and get under their skin. Try and shatter their confidence, or at least disrupt it a little bit, because they've been able to find that maybe and re-akin that over the last couple of rounds. So it's mirror invested top floor. You've got Castle in play. There's traps on offer. SSG have plenty of tools to deal with this. They've got the Deimos for info. They've got Ashen on the striker, so good utility on offer for him. There's maybe even a world in which Faults here does drone dirt and makes the call as the IGL. Let's pivot. Let's go direct. Could that be a false sense of security, though? Is that maybe what FLUXO want in this round?
I mean, that drone, if it was to go through, will find absolutely no one in sight. And Faults might then just play off of this very quickly and go for a quick plan. As long as he's got bodies close by, I mean, the Vulcan canister is going to delay. But again, then, once this gets popped, do you just go back drone, look for more information? Now, the push from Palu came from Oil Pit. He makes his way back towards the site. He's the first one back for FLUXO. But it doesn't seem to me that SSG are fully aware of the fact that, yeah, this is entirely clear. Besides one. Saying that, they are going direct. They lose Benja, though. Gets caught by Volps. He's made his way back to site now. In fact, that's what FLUXO really all should be doing. You've got that pick. Go back. Play site. Dots through the hatch, playing as if he's an attacker. Palu trying to take the battle over towards AK, and FLUXO is now going for the plant, and this should be successful. It will go down for SSG. And that means now shield up for the Blackbeard of FLUXO.
Dots needs to have impact. He's finding it so hard to push forward, but it's now 4-3.
They lose Newers. If they can clear out this dirt possession, it becomes very winnable for FLUXO. Dots will go down, and so does Dodes. And they combine J90 and FLUXO for SSG. The direct hit will be successful. They take basement on the attack.
Wow, that's a big call for FLUXO to make in that round.
Great drone work, good discipline, good info, and then also to execute.
Yeah, great commit. Love the stack over towards blue. It then meant that when they got the dash across and the AK plant was going down, great coverage. Dots could not dash across and deny that plant. And even with a man advantage in the post, positionally far superior for Space Station. They make it work. They now lead.
Cash and CCTV for the 8th round. As you mentioned, SSG now lead for the first time since the 2nd round on Clubhouse. The map pick of FLUXO. And they're just starting to believe. FLUXO leading the way. 8-3, big play in that previous round.
10 seconds left.
Everyone positive for SSG except for Benja. Benja 1-5 struggling. He's had a couple of opening deaths. Hasn't really been able to get going in this match, but if he does, he could be the circuit breaker for SSG. So now for FLUXO though, you're on defense, bring the clash, bring a couple of trap ops. You've got the Fenrir, you've got Lopen on the Thorn. Just play sight. Force SSG to have to clear you out. If you're giving them opportunities like in that last round where they can play direct, good drone work, they will abuse that. So force SSG to have to beat you instead of giving them the avenue for free.
Special charge. Pretty clear.
Again, the Capital banned out, so this will test SSG strategically. Will they opt to go Jacuzzi across, eventually posture up for the con hit, or do they mix it up and somehow get the Monty involved for a Rafters clear? At least initially, Util is being invested on the opposing side of the map, and drone work over towards the triangle defense on offer here from the defense. As I say that though, J90 is still posturing and lurking over towards Garage, just trying to keep this defense honest. Kind of traps Dodes in this position where he needs to stay Rafters and can't aid elsewhere.
He has to, because Breach is open as well, and FLUXO is watching it. They don't have to have the Capital, which is banned out, by the way, to clear out Rafters. Send the Monty up, force Dodes to try and get back over to that window position. Bam, FLUXO has then got a good angle to get that kill. The problem is a bit of this barbed wire, the utility. Dodes just peeked the window, by the way. He just literally gave up Rafters. Gave Rafters up to FLUXO. They lose Newers, so they've lost the Deimos on the other side of the map, but Rafters control established for SSG.
Reloading.
Aggressive clash shield here from SSG.
Well, it's in response to losing Rafters.
From FLUXO, rather. SSG will need to go for the clear. 70 seconds now on the clock. Dots is flashed. He peels back. Wall, though, to be opened up, and a route towards default will become available.
Benja on the balcony in a good position that if Dots... Oh, he's just jumped out. Dots is outside. They're going for the pinch. Benja got the kill onto Lopen despite the clash in his face. What a huge play from Benja. FLUXO went for a power play to clear out the subroof, and Benja was able to get the shot. They lose the Monty, finally deal with Benja, and suddenly though now advantage FLUXO.
J90 on the ground. Can SSG salvage this attacking attempt?
But they still got to get the plant. And here comes Dots now.
Shield down.
Shield down. SMG up from Dots. FLUXO is on at the breach, but he can't find an angle. Needs to push in, help out. Got the revive on the J90. He's back up.
Oh.
He's now down. FLUXO gets rid of Ashen. What a clear. What a round from FLUXO.
That was an awkward stalemate at the end of the round, but it's FLUXO W7M to find the win con. Great play from the Clash and a timeout from Norris.
Forte dinheiro. Perfeito, perfeito, a mesma linha. Agora, o que eu queria fazer em cima, vocês só tem que ficarem atentos com uma coisa. é muita informação porque eles estão muito espalhados. Só que vocês têm que entender que tanto nosso chip da defesa do dinheiro, Forte Switch, quanto a academia, que pra mim eu quero hold de dinheiro, do jeito que tinha conversado, nenhuma delas eles conseguem dominar as duas pontas ao mesmo tempo.
Tem, eles conseguem dominar uma.
Porque tem pouco recurso, então não fiquem se movendo, tá ligado? É literalmente para e existe assim, ó. Aí o cara vai ficar bank, ace, tudo. Beleza.
Mano, papo
aí
reto.
Daqui a pouco eles vão comer, vai comer na trap, vai comer no cruzado.
Pode loucura, mas não sei, tipo...
Mano, deixa eu falar, rapidão, Lobão, um segundo. Eu acho que a gente vai academia com Mira e queima os termitáveis pra fora, mano.
É que depois a gente bane termite e vai academia.
Então, vamos fazer agora. Aproveita queimando tudo. Pode ser?
All tied up heading into gym bedroom. What a round for FLUXO W7M as we go to the highlights. I thought at this moment here, it's a 4v3 to SSG. Dots is forced back into Con, got tagged up, and they lost J90. Then they started to lose a bit of position as the clash of Dots was able to rotate from Con over to CCTV. Volts could never really do much from the breach. Power play from the clash, and a big comeback in that round for FLUXO W7M. And we are all tied heading into the 9th round over to gym bedroom.
Starting to reach boiling point in this matchup. It feels like any big moment from this point onwards could be a big difference maker.
Located a bomb.
Let's see what Bedroom has in store as SSG pivot a little bit into this round. They'll bring the Monty in exchange for the Blackbeard. Ying in exchange of the Ash. Dog could be also in play to aid on map clear.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
As for that last time out, again, sponsored by Maria, thank you very much.
Reload!
For the next round, Volps saying, let's do gym and burn the thermites outside. We'll see how impactful that ends up being. They do bring the mirror to help aid in that and a couple of impacts to assist.
We'll get the full translation from Norris as well to come shortly.
Cool. It did seem incredibly tactical, right? I mean, quite literally pointing at diagrams in terms of the strats that they have laid out. So not too worried about fundamentals or mental or any of that element at the moment.
Oh, well, there's a delay with the Zoto canister from Dodez over towards Kennels.
Nitro sold from Palu as well, pre-ripped bathroom. I do wonder if that's for Jacuzzi as well on the opposing side of the map. That too could be intriguing. In the meantime though, Monty taking ground garage.
Now, this is the risk though that FLUXO do run by trying to delay the opening of this breach, which now has been successful, is you play a deeper forward position. Unfortunately for SSG, with this Monty, you can force them back. This is what we've just seen. Dodez has stayed though. And Volts then gets caught because he came back to help out. So he got kind of baited back in by Dodez's positioning deep inside a cache. And Dodez, funnily enough, is the one that gets away. Volts is just trying to help his teammate, got picked by Ashen. Logic Bomb rings out, SSG with the opening kill. And now an advantage heading into the site, but they lose Benja. Again, Benja goes down.
That con hold from FLUXO. And Loban specifically, really good. Brings it back to a 4 versus 4. SSG with a semblance now of map control. It's neutralized across the board. 60 seconds, even man count. Who steps up in this big moment now?
I mean, you say it's neutralized, but Ashen's low. Time starts to dwindle down. They haven't even opened up Jacuzzi.
Yeah, Jacuzzi's
it's an absolute mess. And you've got Loban playing towards Jim on this Azami with 2 keeper barriers in pocket. FLUXO are winning this round right now. It might be a 4 versus 4, but SSG are going to have to do something incredible. They've got 1 Candela as well for Newers, and he goes for the drop logistics. Dano will peek the window in towards bedroom, can't find an angle. Falls, how does he get involved? Breaks the keeper barrier. Loban almost caught, and in the end, it's a Nitro Assault from Palu onto Falls. Ashton falls, he was low, and it's only down to Newers. 20 seconds, and they need a miracle clutch from Newers. Needs to win a 1 versus 2. Has 1 smoke, knows where 1 is, but Palu from the bathroom sits him down. FLUXO take the lead once again as they go 5-4 up.
And what they've done there is play perfectly into what Norris outlined in the tactical timeout. The key takeaway being, let's not completely run around headless. Let's not over-aggress. Let's be happy for them to play into the late round win conditions, especially the traps. And we saw that For instance, the Fenrir late round, the impact of the Izami as well, limiting playmaking opportunities. They also dealt with the hard breach, which was mentioned previously as well. Jacuzzi, not a position that SSG could enter. There were so few avenues towards that objective, towards creating site pressure, and it allowed the anchor play there to be really clean. 5-4 the scoreline. It's basement. The site typically looked at as strongest here on Clubhouse for the defense, and SSG now, if they want to scathe off the threat of Series Point, must win it on the attack.
They did so to begin the second half. We'll need to do so once again. The clash banned out, though, does mean Faults can roam a little bit more freely on the Monty. They've lost the Thermite. Probably not the end of the world, in all honesty, for SSG. I don't think they'll be too phased by that. Dodes on the Scopos will offer flexibility for FLUXO, but they have the kind of composition where it's an easy fallback play site. I would just be saying to Dodes, play the Scopos, do what you want, transfer back if you can, and we'll even just play 5v5 on site if we need to. This doesn't need to be a full commit for FLUXO. If it is, it could open up a pathway for SSG. Let's switch the Monty to the Blackbeard, by the way, at the last second.
Yep. Can't help but shake the feeling that this site will be determined a long way away from the objective itself.
And the rafters here for the Scopos typically is like peak doorway. If you don't get much, transfer. You don't typically see the Scopos try and leave rafters manually, running back over towards CCTV. So it's kind of a one and done here for Dodes in this position.
Still support though on the second floor elsewhere. Loban Jim. Grenade secret. Just pushes Palu back.
Grenade for a Kiva barrier. You take that if you Palu. Oh, got a bit of damage onto Newers. They still haven't moved yet, Dodes. He's still sitting rafters as well. SSG have gotten stock control through Newers, but that's about it. Ashen and Faults, though, are lurking dirt. We saw that dirt push last time for SSG, which was successful.
Seen it once before, but will they commit again? This time, though, with the smoke in play, up close Volps, this is his moment. And just stalling out this push.
Yeah, this is wonderful. By the time that frag grenade does nothing, clears the barbed wire, actually, and then the push forward through the smoke. Almost caught Volps off guard. He had a bit of help from behind in dots. Takes a tiny amount of damage and does still maintain one gas babe for the final 90 seconds of this round. Not a bad little push, though, for SSG. They captured dirt, but Dots will capture Ashen. And Palu now over towards Garage.
There is a drone over towards Garage. Ashen can watch that.
Dodes is, by the way, still top floor roaming over towards Con. If he does get tagged out, doesn't matter. Beats out Benja, who goes down again. 2 and 8 for Benja.
And Dodes back to church. Second shot.
Oh, this
Palu
is done.
Newers. This is Series Point, surely.
This should be 6-4 in the books. Barring a catastrophe. J9O, bit of damage. There's Dodes, though. Transfer back down. It's flawless from FLUXO W7M, who have now got 2 Series Point opportunities against Space Station to knock them out of the Six Invitational.
You know it's a good round when you can just adjudicate the body language from Norris. He is really pleased with how that has worked out. They counteract the dirt play from SSG that round. They get really good value from the Scopos. They committed hard. You mentioned typically we see the Scopos came back, but a port time for Loban to come across and help. Advanced position from Palu, who's in the blind spot of that drone because he doesn't overcommit. It forces plays elsewhere. Round was already over. FLUXO W7M have looked red hot this series.
2 opportunities to book their place main stage at the Adidas Arena to take on Furia. To knock out Space Station, which would leave Wildcard as the sole remaining North American team. 6-4. Do or die now for SSG. You have to go for broke. You have to go for big plays. Overwhelm FLUXO. Don't be scared of the moment. Embrace it. This is what you play all year for.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Double ditches for Palu and Loban. Both doubling up. None for SSG. Closest is Faults, who now plays the Blitz. And this is looking pretty default in nature for FLUXO. Dodes will be in a good position over towards Rafters. On the Izami, they'll put pressure over towards Jim's bedroom. What's the response from SSG? What do they try to clear? Do they go across and try and play into this extension of FLUXO?
Yeah, potentially.
Also, get Bender away from that balcony, please. I can't see him die there again.
Yeah, he's on the Brava for this particular round. I love this adjustment from SSG. Will be really good counterplay onto the Fenrir and the Malusi, but the first one gets dismissed.
Trying to open up Jacuzzi, which will be successful.
Every entry point has been laid with trap utility here from FLUXO W7M. I can't help but shake the feeling that Benja may be not getting as much value from the Clutch Drones as he really needed in this round.
He'll take over from where Benja was playing in the last few rounds. Takes the subroof position just outside CCTV and gone. Ashen finds the opening kill onto Lopen. They need him to rise to the occasion. Palu pops the Vulcan canister, which meant Fultz couldn't actually aggress onto him, and it allows Palu to escape through Con back over to Cash. Well played from him. Good use of the utility.
Dots has been flashed out several times, and SSG haven't been able to net this kill. I don't know if they're aware of this position.
Big pick from Benja, by the way, though, on to Dotas. That has cleared Rafters. They've got garage control with still a minute left. If SSG won with a 2-player advantage, you don't have to commit now into these FLUXO players. Drone, followed by the Nitro of Dots, doesn't hit anyone, taking the battle towards the balcony, but then Ashen from Logistic gets 2. Needed that. They will stay alive at least for one more round. One more opportunity. We go to the final round of regulation on Clubhouse.
That's nice from SSG. That's really good.
Got to do it again, though.
Great.
Means nothing if you don't do it in this round to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. The map clearance was clean. Con, they were able to deal with Dots. Space Station Gaming with some really good work on that wave clear. Keeping FLUXO honest.
Go Jim Bedroom, and where FLUXO looked so good in that 9th round. Do it again, play how they did last time, and this could be a 7-5. SSG will have to play this a little differently. I think at this point, you just stay on the blitz. You've been playing a lot of Blackbeard. You tried around with the Monty. That didn't work either. But you found success with the blitz. Maintain it, hold it, bring it again for Fultz.
Yeah, you really want to leverage.
Oh, he goes Blackbeard.
I mean, it's 6.5. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying it hasn't necessarily been working in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
Different site, though, of course, but...
Again, irrespective of who you play for Fultz, he has a big responsibility in this round. Not only is it the IGL and calling shots, but with the Clash band out, it offers an opportunity for him to gain ground, to gain ascendancy around the map.
This is the change-up lineup-wise for FLUXO compared to last time on Jim Bedroom. They drop the Mirror. They also drop the Fenrir. They bring the Smoke, and they brought the Warden.
I love the Warden selection. We've seen SSG lean into the Ying on a couple of occasions now.
Another big extension towards Garage, though.
Loben likely needing now to commit.
From J90.
Yeah. I don't foresee Loben getting out of this position. He needs to take at least one with him.
Well, he does have a rotate option available here, so he can slip very quickly back into CCTV. Bolts is there.
Oh, he does get out.
Do that. But he also didn't stay there long either.
Sure.
So he didn't really commit Rafters and then try and get out late. He just goes super early. That brought attention of SSG, so they've cleared Rafters. But it means it's a longer entry into the building. Dodes is still holding towards Cash, playing this angle. Send the Blackbeard first. Good play from Fultz. But it's Loben that finds the early kill onto Ashen.
Back to sight, boys.
Back to sight. And this might be the end of SSG without Ashen, who's been their best player all tournament long. This is going to be difficult, needing now someone from the core 4 left alive to stand up.
And we're seeing keeper barriers now on site itself because Loben was able to get back towards objective. Good util clearance onto the Goyos from SSG. They at least have time
they got good
on
space.
their side. And space, yes.
Newest finds a pick from the balcony. Fultz inside of Con. J90 there as well. So with the map control they have, with the time left in the round, SSG bring it back to a 4v4 and suddenly have good spacing, but no Jacuzzi opened up.
And it's double Nitro for FLUXO. If these land, it will be the difference maker for the defense.
Newest poking and prodding. Fultz now bringing his body over towards Jim, looking for the vault in. Hasn't done it just yet. Doesn't want to commit. J90 blocked off by these gas babes. Again, there's still a minute. Newest though tagged up, trying to take this angle fight against Dots. No more gas, babes. They lose J90 though. And now they're pushing from Volts. They go all or nothing. Balls to the wall here for SSG. Volts found the kill onto Volts though. Can he go for the plant successfully? Turns his back. Benja now deep inside a bedroom. Here comes FLUXO though on the pushback. Benja, he needed to arrive, and he does do so. Makes amends as SSG force overtime.
That coverage was absolutely spot on. SSG deny the ability for those nitros to have impact. That was one hell of a grind, a meat grinder at that, to get into the site, but they get the job done. Overtime required SSG to continue here on attack.
Benja was having a very, very difficult time in regulation. Up to that point, 4-8-0-3 on entry, and he just goes bang deep inside a bedroom, finds the double. And that's what he's capable of as SSG stay above water. But they got double attack inside of overtime. Job's not done yet. FLUXO will go straight to basement on the defense as we reach fever pitch in this elimination game. To SSG have it within them to find these rounds, needing at least one attack to get them to the third map of which is Border, a very strong map for Spacestation Gaming. FLUXO need to get the job done here in overtime.
So double shield for SSG in this round, and I think for them tactically this round is a real challenge. We've seen Dirt work the first time out, we saw elements of it in the second, but it was countered by FLUXO, who once again are going to bring the Scopos. So for SSG, they have to make a definitive call in this round. Are we finally going to go for a full map clear, try and collapse onto this roam, try and deal with the Valkyrie cameras and the other potential trap utility that has been littered around the map? Or instead, do they try and be concise again, try and play compact and go direct? Tactically, there's a big decision to be made here by Fault and the rest of the SSG roster.
I don't think they can go dirt focus again though. It's twice they've done it in a row. Worked the first time, that's great. Second time, FLUXO catch on to it.
No smoke this time though, so an asterisk on that. Well, it'd be interesting if SSG still go for it. It might actually be challenging to counter.
But Dots is there with the Vulcan canisters playing dirt anyway, so that kind of ends up doing a similar effect. Newers drops in Logistic. They might go for a pinch towards Cash. Ashen top main. Bolts, by the way, is bottom main stairs, and at any moment could go for a peek. He's watching cams. He's actually got a Valk cam top main stairs. Clearing out a drone.
Something to note as well, Dodos is currently watching his second Scopos inside of Garage, has the ability to transition to that if required.
Saw just then how deep Dots was over towards Dirt. There's a drop down into Oil Pit on the push back to site.
Oh, this is spicy. So Volps will lurk far away from site. His goal is to hit the timing late round.
He's the only one not in basement right now for FLUXO.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shallow drone. I am hazarding to guess that that has not been spotted out.
Dot loses his life to Benja. Advantage SSG to kickstart overtime. Still need to be mindful of Volps. Cannot forget about where he's playing.
Volts actually jumped on the camera temporarily, but Volps caught a good timing.
Oh, chance for Newers through the floorboards. Here comes Volps though, through strip. This could make or break the start of overtime. The push now from Volps is now slowly making his way, and it seems as if it will be ultra successful. A little trigger discipline, one popped and two. Sits them both down. A wonderful flank from Strip as Volps has been able to change the complexion of overtime. Newers gets one and Volps gets a second. And with 30 seconds left, 2v2 still winnable for SSG despite that flank from Volps.
But the plant from this position, surely improbable for SSG. They're forced to go deep. Maybe they cover. Newers with a big task, 1v2.
You've got to cover, but Palu hits the headshot. Volts now down and out, and it is once again match series point for FLUXO W7M.
They fire up in OT. Phenomenal work on the defense. They commit big time in the flank. You can see Volps
what a
sigh
play.
of relief. He knows, the entire team knows. That round is centered around him. He needs to hit the timing. He does so. SSG, 5 members up. No one flicks the cam at the appropriate time if they had one in position because it did get moved. They're unaware. They get caught out. 2 kills. Bang.
Didn't rush it either in that situation. He just goes tap, tap.
He actually was blindsided on the first one. He didn't see Bender at all.
I'm pretty certain where we got cut there in the highlights. It looked like he didn't, but I think originally it pushed in. I think he just saw like the upper shoulder. I could be wrong, but it definitely seemed as if he was aware. Big play from Volps. Those are the kind of plays that have such big consequences.
And again, Siege can be such a game of super fine margins. I kid you not. Just before Volts went for that flank, I was looking across at our overhead. Volts jumped on the drone. Half a second before Volts made his initial move. It could have played out so differently if SSG had somebody committed to flank watch knowing there was a player strip side.
So it's down to this. Space Station, you're going to win 2 rounds straight. You're knocked out of SI. FLUXO W7M will get 2 more opportunities to close it out on Clubhouse. They had 3 chances. Sorry, was it 3? Yeah, no, 2 chances back in regulation. They were up 6-4. So 2 more opportunities here now in overtime. No surprise, we go straight to basement here for SSG. And it worked out really well last time when they committed 5 to sight. Ashen wants to get rid of a few drones, won't want to stick around too long.
Reloading.
Lewis will do the same towards Secret, try and get a drone or 2, then fall back.
Knock down another wall.
Yeah, nice work there from Ashen, able to chip away a little bit that drone economy. His utility late round could be a difference maker when you think about triple wall.
It's the same lineup as the last round in regulation defense for SSG. The only change, instead of the mute, they now have the tuber out.
Blue hatch pressure. Palu waiting to pounce. 12 kills on club. He's been really good this series.
And for FLUXO, same lineup, except instead of the Monty, they have the Blackbeard. So small changes from these 2 teams heading into this overtime match point round. Fully committed to sight now for SSG. 5v5. And let's be real, in these scenarios on this site in a 5v5 heading into the final minute, just comes down to who can hit your shots.
Yeah, util layering could be a big difference maker though. No Warden in play, lots of flashes, 4 Candelas up. Range hard bridge could come into play as well for triple wall. FLUXO,
but you got the Zodo canisters for that.
Yeah, sure. Zodos, there is a Nitro. Double gas babes as well from FLUXO. The counterplay on offer from both teams right now, it really does feel like it's on a knife's edge.
It certainly is. Zodo canister not used, by the way, for Kitchen. It is very much to delay triple from being opened up towards Church. 1 Nitro for Ashen. 2 gas babes still for Faults as well. 40 seconds is all that maybe is left for SSG at 6 Invitational. Have they got the ice in their veins? Heading into what is now the execute phase of FLUXO.
They've gotten some good deep information, FLUXO W7M. Now is the time to action it.
The drop will come through the kitchen hatch. Full flash though up above in kitchen. Will delay slightly. Flames still down below as well. You've got Lopen towards main stairs. 10 seconds. The time now very much becomes a factor here for FLUXO. Drop down from Dots, unsuccessful. Connecting with the Nitro was Ashen. 4 seconds left. Volts has got onto the kit, will stick the plank, gets off though because J9O pushed up. As time expires, SSG's bunker defense holds on strongly, and we go to all 15 rounds of Clubhouse.
Really great defense there from SSG. They did a really nice job to play into utility. The name of the game, the Flames stalled out the push. The Nitro from Ashen forced the reclaim of the diffuser, and then the push forward following that pressure up.
I want to see that team flash again over towards Kitchen, because I swear someone's not hit that through the hatch, and it's just flashed poor old Dot before he could make the drop. That just bought a bit more time for SSG. Bolts knew at that point he's getting swung anyway. Played the time really nicely. FLUXO in the end just gave themselves little room for error.
Yeah.
With the time against them towards the end of that round. But as it stands, SSG still need to find an attacking round. Cash and CCTV, though, was won successfully by them in the 11th round on the attack. They won their last 2 attacking rounds to close out regulation. Seeing off 2 elimination points, they need to do so again for the last time on Club, or they're out. 15th round, second map. Is it Border, or is it SSG out of SI? It's one or the other.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, back in round number 8, FLUXO W7M did successfully defend site. But when you cast your mind back to that defensive round, the clash was monumental in being able to have site presence and control late round. Now that that's been stripped away, taken off the board with the additional ban from SSG, and we've seen this already play out once, it's increasingly challenging for FLUXO W7M. So I think SSG actually go into this round rather confident that they can try and replicate that success from last time out. Double primary hard breach. They have the Deimos, so Benja will be given a license to maybe vert from down below. Can help flush out map across, could even pressure side as well from Lounge. And then on the side of FLUXO W7M, they've brought some really good anchor tools. You think about smoke top red late. You've got the Warden who can be pretty adaptable as well. And it's a triangle defense here, looking to immediately contest Jacuzzi's side.
It's all or nothing time. Can't be scared of the moment. Can't be scared of what's about to come your way. Play the win! And Lopen just overstepped ever so slightly. Ashen finds the opening kill for Spacestation as Dots will still maintain his position inside of Jim. Despite getting droned out, wants to still hold Jacuzzi. An early pick, an early advantage, but it's not round 1 just yet. Here comes Benja with the death mark. On to Dots, pushing back through bedroom. Benja wants to peek the window. Palu in the gas babe. He's forced back. He wanted to get aggressive. Faults over towards main stairs. But Dodes has retaken Jim. Benja at the window. Connects a huge shot, but he's now down but not out. Can get revived later in the round. The nitro came from Dots. It's the last one that they had, and there's only one gas babe for Bolts.
They are refusing to give up. Jim side control.
Revive. It will come through. It's a 5v3.
Yeah.
Dots staying inside of Jim. He's basically saying, I will die here or I will kill you here. 1 minute left in the round as SSG are trying to force map 3 to stave off elimination, and it's looking very, very likely for the North Americans. They've been able to bring it back from 4 elimination points. As great as Palu has been, surely even this is beyond him.
SSG full map control now. It comes down to the con side here. Deimos peppering below. Volts, Palu so low on HP. They need to hold on for a full 30 seconds. It seems impossible.
Get ready for the Ashen Scream. For the North Americans to rise off their chairs in celebration as they're getting this map 3 well and truly. Volts, oh, never mind. Keeps it alive. There's absolutely no chance they lose it. Surely not. As Volts is on 1 HP, 10 seconds left. Benja and Newers, you've got to finish this. You cannot collapse like this at the Six Invitational. There is no way, and indeed, no way. SSG, by the skin of their teeth, have managed map 3. Volts, a heroic effort, but it falls oh so short. Border is required. SSG, stave off elimination.
I don't know what I'm meant to say. There's no words in the dictionary that can summarize the end of that map, but Border's required. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Going
Welcome back, everybody. I mean, my God, what a series. What a way to end that for SSG to win. But I have to take a look at round 8 because it was a great showcasing of the new feature of how Clash can lay down her shield and still put out that electricity. Now, Dots understands that there is a player already down behind the bomb. He understands that nothing can be done here because Ashen is outside still on the rafters, but that's the sound cue that he's waiting for, because the second he hears Ashen jump through to try to go to revive onto J90, he is going to plant himself to then essentially render the shields useless with that electricity going out. You're going to see the second Ashen jumps in, Dots understands this is my time. Let me lay down this shield. Let me render these shields useless. Not to be able to make anything happen from this position. And you can clearly see with the position that he is taking, this now sets up Palu to be able to go for this cross. If anyone tries to run on top of him, then you are seeing, then you are seeing this cross being held. You are seeing now Volps swing into red to be able to hold down that red hull for Fultz to be able to swing into, and Dots is now having this control, feeding this info to Palu, to Volps, to just be able to play off of. And as it progresses, it's just a slaughter. J9 goes down, Ashen falls, Fultz falls, and this round and this showcasing of the new feature in how Clash is played, I mean, great heads up from Dots, but it's simply not enough. But we have to take a look at that last round.
Absolute devastation if you're a FLUXO W7M fan. So close, but also, I mean, you and I were just standing literally right off camera staring at SSG as I'm hearing Jake Xenox and Diddy go in the background. Hang on a second, surely they can't do this. How close was it?
It was so stressful in the last rounds. I mean, to be in a 1-on-5 situation, to get it all the way down to 10 seconds, it looked like a moment that Volps could easily have made it happen. A highlight reel clip potentially with such low HP to put it to a 1v1 and to finally get it taken off the board. Volps did his absolute best, not only in that round, but throughout the whole series. And you can see how devastated he looks, how tired he must be after his performance throughout this whole first 2 maps of the best of 3. And now we go to a 3rd map, and the mental aspect of this game is something that we know SSG is good at handling, but a team like FLUXO W7M, when they're doing their best and it's getting shut down, it's so exhausting.
Yeah, it is. And one of the comments we made at the very start of the series, right, was Fultz and Benjamaster. Benjamaster so quiet for the first half of that map, but boy did Fultz turn out. Benjamaster starts to come in at the end. This is what makes teams, they transition from good to great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you need, especially going into the last map. I mean, you can't take anything away from this entire series. This was both teams fighting tooth and nail for every bit of control, every gunfight to go in their favor. And the fact that SSG, and as we're talking about that mental, to be able to close it out, to be able to bring it back, regardless of that falling from a 1v5 into a 1v1, to get over that hurdle and the players coming alive, this is a recipe for success to be able to go into this map 3.
I mean, after that round 2 that we saw, SSG is showing how mentally sound and safe they are when it comes to losing big rounds. I mean, everything in that round 12 looked very set. And a flank from Volps, again, the man that we keep talking about, to be able to get around for FLUXO W7M. For SSG, it doesn't seem like they get tired at any moment. Despite how the rounds go, despite the situation, the time length, they are sitting there, happy, smiling, ready to get into a 3rd map.
Speaking of that 3rd map, we're pretty much ready to go. Just a quick update from the B stream. Weibo have just been knocked out by Team Secret on the opposite side of the booth. Well, Newers is waving, so we'll wave off. We will leave you in the capable hands of the 2 casters from Australia.
Thank you very much, boys. Wonderful breakdown on the desk. That was one hell of a way to end Clubhouse.
It's not moving.
Required, and it's a 50-50.
It certainly is. The 3rd map to decide our final team for main stage. A ridiculous comeback from Spacestation on Clubhouse, but the job not done. One of these 2 will be eliminated, the other to move forward to the main stage. So it comes down to this. The final map before the main stage of Six Invitational 2026. FLUXO, SSG, 1 map to decide their fate.
I still feel like I'm recomposing myself after the conclusion of Club. Perhaps you're just joining for map 3, jumping across from Secret and Weibo. It literally came down to a 1v1 after a 5 versus 1 clutch attempt for FLUXO to knock out SSG, but they were able to hold on in the 15th round. And now we jump into the chaos that is so often Border. The bans for the first half, it's Thatcher, Brava, Azami, Kaid.
And I want to quickly take this time as we're heading into the third map, 2 maps now completed, to look at some of the statistics. And it's crazy to think we're going to a third map when I read some of this out. Parler's 27-12, 2-0 entry, 75% cost through 2 maps. Loban's 20-12, Dota's is 20-18, and Volt's is 16-17. No one on the side of SSG has more than 16 kills. That's crazy, but Ash and Faults, Newers and Benja are all either 15 and 16 kills. So they've been quite of an even spread for Space Station across the 2 maps. And Ashen is 8-4 on entry, continues to be the best entry player at Six Invitational. But he's got a 17% survival rate, which is the lowest out of the 10 players in this series. As we head to Border, SSG will begin on the attack. This map is the best attacking map that we have in the pool for this event.
Get a good
So Palu off the yellow ping of Benja coming straight through front entrance, almost had a headshot angle onto Dots. Wanting to bring the aggression early for SSG, has even seen a drop down. Palu's gone straight down main stairs to try and contest Benja. He'll make his way back up. And the big thing is off the end of Clubhouse, who can just capture the composure first?
Yeah, absolutely. FLUXO were disappointed. They weren't able to get the job done. And Space Station, there may be a sense of feeling lucky to be in this position. Nonetheless, though, a new map and a BO1 shootout to determine each team's fate. So the Thatcher ban is interesting here. It's only been banned on about 2.5% of occasions so far, or somewhere in that realm, very close to. And I do wonder, is that something that FLUXO have identified in terms of, you know, SSG going for direct approaches? They want to enable nitros, for instance, as well. We'll wait and see.
Opening pick for Ashen goes very much to script. He's now 9-4 in that category, and it's on to Volves, who was almost the hero at the end of Clubhouse. No more gas babes available for FLUXO. Dots getting aggressive. Oh, he's just spotting the elbow.
New Meg.
Oh, Faults. Faults is now going to rappel in towards the balcony. FLUXO going to be forced back towards site. Armory Archives, the opening site here for the first round of Border.
Drone ready to be deployed.
So far, so good for SSG. All back to site now for FLUXO. Not able to contest the roam game now. This is going to give SSG space to push in towards the site.
My magnets will protect us.
Final catch deployed here from Loban. Impact grenade, second, I think. No, does not hit the mark. Secondary hard breach open. Dots under immediate pressure, and Loban falls.
Should be dead here. Up close, indeed. Faults gets 2 off of that breach being opened up. Wonderful start for SSG. Down to Dotas and Palu. Palu's been so exceptional in the series, but gets caught, tagged up. Asher with a good angle. Faults then also has a decent angle, but it's Newers that found the kill. And Dotas by himself means that we get off to an SSG round win to start. And Ashen lets them know all about it.
False, you are trolling false.
He's been a little bit quiet. He's been pretty locked in over the course of this series, but good to see the energy levels for SSG are positive. Great opening start, good flush, office across, and FLUXO W7M relying pretty heavily on those anchor positions. You think Fountain, Archives, etc., but the clearance in the util game from SSG was, you know, pretty clean in that round, and they were able to dislodge.
You know, a fun fact here is this is the first time that Space Station are leading the series since the opening round of the first map of Chalet. So it's been a couple of hours of gameplay where they've been behind. They saw off 4 elimination points at the end of Clubhouse, winning 4 of the last 5 rounds. Now they start Border with an attacking round win on Armory Archives. A good sign for this team. FLUXO will know this is not a map that is their specialty. 3-4 record over the last 6 months. Their last win a couple of days ago against D+, 8-7, a bit of a battle, a bit of a scrap. They lost it to Oxygen as well, 7-8. So again, not super proficient. On the flip side, 4-1 record for SSG. Their last win 3 days ago against FLUXO W7M.
So the Solace in play for round 2. And Logan to be tasked with finding information. Shotgun late could have maybe impact when you think about potential denial, I suppose, from above. Of course, it is Workshop, the site of choice.
And so, by the way, with, of course, Weibo being eliminated, that's the end of APAC's run at Six Invitational. If SSG were to win this game, there would be 2 NA teams, 2 EU teams, 2 Brazilian teams on the quest to see which region can get to 4 hammers first.
Minus APAC, who would need to win 4 straight.
For the breach. And well, they're out, so they can't. That's what I've just said.
I know.
Second round coming up. Thrown through from Faults. I think this is exactly what SSG need. Finally, they've just been able to refine form at the right time. Able to survive, get to this third map, a map they're comfortable on, feel confident on. I just saw Ashen actually between maps and spoke to him very briefly. He felt very confident going into border. It was. Think about peeking here into Palu. Does he know Palu's tucked in close here inside of Armory? Lots close by as well for extra support. Has a crossfire established, as SSG have been able to take security.
Stand by to witness the punch.
In terms of history and prestige as well, don't forget Faults lifted the hammer back in Six Invitational 2020. So it's been a long time between hammers for him, and he'll be eager now in this IGL role to lift it once more and join a very elite group that have lifted it on multiple occasions. In the meantime, though, round 2, Palu.
Good team pressure there. They got the pinch. Ashen, Jane, I know either side. Faults had an angle. They do lose Ashen. Means that's the Blackbeard down. Response from Volps. He'll then fall off that position and he'll go down to Workshop. Losing the Blackbeard now heading into the site is not ideal for SSG, especially with that clock starting to wind down. And there goes Jay and I know. Here's a response now from FLUXO. This is not just going to be the SSG party on border. FLUXO will give everything they've got. Try and get to main stage, but Dodez losing the peak battle to Newers. Even things up again, heading into the last 25 seconds as the plant will go down inside a server. Drop down on top of the server rack. The Benja, Core, dead to right. FLUXO able to defend site 1-1.
Yeah, some really nice on-site play there from FLUXO W7M. I think you could make a fair argument that the off-site clear late round pick from Newers, that was great. Long way away from the objective, and the structure on-site for plant denial / immediate pouncing on to the attack, if that plant was secured, was certainly in favor of the Brazilians. So they trade rounds, these two, 1 apiece. Tiebreaker to be the tertiary site of Bathroom and Tellers. Partly got caught early. The initial clear again was actually quite good, off-site. But trying to find a safe plant position and then being able to have the structure to alleviate pressure for even a potential post was clearly too challenging there for SSG. So who can now lead at the conclusion of this particular round? SSG Shield has been a large talking point for them over the course of this series, and it looks like we might potentially see one here for the third. I thought maybe we'd finally see the Blitz, but no. It's the Blackbeard once again, but in different hands this time. Ashton's been freed up to play the Twitch, and so False will take responsibility on the BB.
And False was the one who had the responsibility of the Blackbeard for the most part on Clubhouse. Ashton only played it once. But yet, funnily enough, to start border, Ashton playing it twice, so this is kind of reverting more to the norm for SSG. Logan looking to contest, doesn't want to run out, scared about the left side angle, even with the Blackbeard on the right side. Got a canister. Only down to 1 left now for Volt, so he's using these very early into the round. In fact, he's just thrown out his 3rd one. So 2 minutes on the clock, and you got no more Zoto canisters. Only 1 Nitrocell from Volt, available as utility.
Yeah, and with no mute in play as well, it does strip away some of the counterplay here onto the Deimos for the remainder of the round. Flash dump Dodez. He escapes the box, but it does now free up a route through security for SSG. They'll exploit that with the Blackbeard.
Loban's still very close, by the way. So not a full fallback for FLUXO. Loban wants to play aggressive, and he got down to Ashen in the convert. Ashen goes down again. 1 and 2 start for the star of SSG. A great start from Loban, and he pushes despite the Blackbeard in his face. Talk about aggression. Oh, the fallback headshot onto Benja. 4-1 start for Loban. And as new as Falls, it's a 1v5 for Falls.
He
avoids the flawless.
The damage is done, though.
Well, I mean, at the end of Clubhouse, I thought the 1v5 meant the job was done as well. Not counting anything out in this series.
No.
Especially the way that Fault has been playing so far. But shaping up to be a FLUXO round win unless Fault does something absolutely crazy. Getting aggressed now from Fulps inside of security onto Fulps. Taking the battle around the pillar near box. Dots is also there for cover. That's 2-2 split right now for FLUXO. No easy fights here for Fulps. Despite the ping information, Fulps on defaults. 2-1 lead for FLUXO. They retake the series lead with that round win. And Border might just now have a sense of back and forth.
That was a big commit from Loban. If he gets caught there, it's one of those scenarios where you'd be questioning why is he doubling or tripling down in that position, but he hits some absolutely nutty shots there to help assist his team in holding on to that security corner of the map.
Norris has made this a 6v5. Just, he sat down next to them. Timeout,
right,
SSG.
Armory, we're going to still play it as seen. We can either go tile side or we go east side. I think east is looking pretty good for us, though. We look for that. Look tiles up from bottom. If it's tellers or when it's vents, what I want to start doing is I'm using tile side. I want to show the east side front early, especially for tellers. Use the grill and work the traps. Then I just want to run a shield up tile side and just crank it straight through Armory. Leave one guy outside of the break door side to pull and just say, fuck the guy CC, fuck the guy wave. And then we can also bring Bulker on vent, so we identify that bandit backbound again. We can take the Habana along with the Capital and EMPs to actually get that wall up and apply some pressure across them. You can start a radio set and rotate back around. They should probably give you E-skin. If they don't, just do any OK that you want off that. Or we can kind of do it ba. If we identify they're stacking too hard off that, you can go outside like that vent CC area, and then we look to use like that tile set, walk off that, kind of just look for more sight pokes.
The final timeout from Callout.
And again, purely strategic, laying out the foundation, their plans going forward here. Couple of operators selected, positioning as well, tiles identified as a key part of the map that they'll look to exploit going forward. Mentions of Capital as well. And so it seems like taken away from that is they want to try and manipulate the positioning of this defense maybe a little bit more.
Don't forget, most attacker-sided map at the event, so for SSG, cannot give up too many of these defensive rounds, or you find yourself playing from behind going into the second half. Hence the early call-out.
Yeah.
Well, the early timeout from call-out. Timeout call-out. Double stack Vulcan canister for a potential rush into Archives.
Round 4 has actually had the highest number of timeouts called per round. I don't know if would that be considered a round 3 or a round 4 timeout.
Yeah,
I think it would be round 4.
Well, I mean, I guess at the end, if round 3 has concluded, you're heading into round 4.
Yes, it's by far and away the most popular round at the event to take a tac timeout.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of early timeouts. Typically, though, in response, of course, if you're, off to a bit of a slowish start. But in SSG's case, being on the attack and things, aren't going perfect, yeah, it's a good time for it. Changing the lineup for SSG. They bring the Twitch this time on Armory Archives. They drop the Buck as well for the Deimos. They bring the Ace instead of the Nomad. Oh no, sorry. It hasn't updated properly on my STP. I should have just Looked actually.
Just look up.
Yeah, exactly. Just look up. Frag grenade onto Volts is going to force him back over to Office.
They brought the Capital Amps, that was emphasized over the course of the tag timeout. So Newers will be looking to get rather active in this round, and we'll see how that utility is then deployed to try and disrupt this FLUXO defense.
It is a big change up though, actually, from the first round. And a lot of presence over towards East Airs right now for SSG from Volt and Ashen. Loban lurking below in Towers. On the Solas can get good information. Benj is actually in a good spot here to maybe cut him off or go for the push and clear him out inside of Towers. Ashen low. Loban's going to be careful here. If he's too busy scanning and over position, it meant that he was susceptible to Benja. Benja tags him up. Oh, what a swing though from Loban. Oh, Benja will be kicking himself. He had the opportunity to find the early kill onto the Solus. Loban finds it back the other way and then is able to retreat and can make his way back up middle. Instead, Alex actually just hold inside a server for now anyway. Advantage for FLUXO.
So SSG now fighting from behind. They still have Ashen to play the front line, but the clash in play complicates this. It compromises the shield, and we see Ashen fall.
Dots can hold. He knows there's one at the window. Little hole in the reinforcement. Not the end of the world. They still have cancel the double thing. Dots got aggressive, thinking maybe there was only the one. Got a bit of help, but Loban finds another shot. Again, the fact that Benja couldn't find that opening kill, Loban will punish him. He's been sensational so far on border, a 7-2 start. And SSG out of the timeout are down to 2 players left with 20 seconds. It's seemingly going to be a 3-1 start on the defense for FLUXO. All that hard work, Clubhouse to get to map 3, a strong map for SSG, but it was never going to be a foregone conclusion. One from J-Leno, the clash in your face, no time left. He goes searching for more kills, got a tag actually onto Volts. Might have been a team tag, doesn't matter. Round 1 for FLUXO, and they take a 3-1 lead.
Early momentum swinging towards the Brazilians.
And now you don't have that timeout to stop the momentum. You called it, and rightfully so, for the strategy to get back into it. But now you're 3-1 down, no time to break that momentum of FLUXO, except for just winning rounds inside of the server. That was the determining factor of the round.
Has that been 3 tags they failed to convert now in the series? Like, that's what my gut is telling me. May or may not be correct.
Probably the case.
Certainly not ideal. Whichever way you look at it for SSG. FLUXO W7M looking great here on border and on the side where you would probably least expect it.
8 kills for Loban inside the first 4 rounds. And I guess I highlighted it before this match, guys, as we kind of kicked into border, but the actual KD numbers are incredibly in favor of FLUXO. You go to a frag-heavy map like border, yeah, historically, it's been a good map for SSG. But in this series and today, FLUXO's been better in the fragging department. They're just playing better in these duels, and that's the concern right now for SSG. They won club probably more on strategy. Border comes heavily down to these gunfights. And Loban feels the confidence. Playing the Talus window up close.
Changing mags.
SSG need a round. It cannot go 4-1 down here and giving up this many defensive rounds against FLUXO on border.
So the sense has been introduced into the lineup here for Spacestation. Some kind of set play that they're ready to cook up. Newers will be eager to deploy those ROUs. Could suggest something centered around front door. It can also be used above, and that's where we'll also see it.
Oh, the run out from Loban. Well, he is just doing what he pleases. No one can stop him. He's on his own mission. No more ROUs from Newers. Trades in favor of FLUXO. The gunfights continue to go the way of the Brazilians. Ashen, shield down, gun up. Found one back onto Dots. Down to just him and Volts. Volt over, unsuccessful. And it's only Volts left in the 1v3. Nothing working for SSG here on the final map.
they aren't being allowed to set up for these plays that they want to execute when it comes to hitting side. The aggression from FLUXO is not being tamed. And if it continues like this, SSG surely will go home. They need to be able to counteract this going forward. This round surely isn't theirs, and the next feels like it has to be won.
You say all of that, but it already feels maybe job done territory for FLUXO as they're about to put up 4 defensive rounds on the board. Wow. They're ahead massively here on map 3. 4 defensive rounds on board, the most attacker-sided map at Six Invitational. It's not do or die time just yet, and SSG certainly will have the capability of matching it in the second half on their own defense. But my concern is just the fact that they're losing gunfights so often in the series. It's reminding me a lot of Chalet. Back on Chalet, all the opening kills were dominated by FLUXO. The KD stats, it was a 14-3 performance from Palu, 10-5 from Dodez. No one on the side of SSG on the first map of Chalet had more than 5 kills. They got trounced. Clubhouse was a whole different map. Far more tactical, strategical, more compact defenses. Sure, there were gunfights, but not to the aggression of Chalet and Border. And that's the concern right now for SSG. No one's fragging well enough on their team to match what we're seeing from FLUXO. Loban's got 11 kills. He's just doing what he wants.
And here's a not so fun fact for SSG about Loban. When you look at the numbers heading into this particular matchup, on attack, Loban had a 108 EPS. He was actually behind that defensively, in stark contrast to so many players at the event at 102. So he's been able to tap into something we haven't seen from him at this event so far, with some really great defensive counter-aggression.
He's now crossed 30+ kills in the series, the first to do so, carrying a 130 EPS. He's been the MVP. SSG have got to try and find a way to either avoid him or shut him down. He's the difference right now. No one on FLUXO has got more than 5 kills except for Loban, who's got 11. A difference maker in this first half. Final round on the attack for SSG. They cannot afford to go 5-1 down. It would be so demoralizing and such a long way back on the map of Border.
Ashen laying down the groundwork there with Roteros. 2-4 start for him, but we know he can activate. And he's been impactful in a couple of big moments for SSG. So they'll be looking towards him.
Again, though, spreading the map. FLUXO is spreading the map. They're playing towards security and Brave.
Loban run out!
And Loban run out again.
Oh my.
They're just playing these dangerous positions, and SSG don't know how to enter the building. They don't know where to push in. So then that means it opens up the space for Loban to do these runouts. And then a swing across headshot onto Ashen.
The trade.
At least the trade 1-for-1 between Ashen and Loban. Honestly, you take that if you're SSG. Vault then clears out Newers. It's just swing after swing on the defense from FLUXO, and SSG don't know what to do. They're not pushing in as a team. They're just staying around the balconies, allowing FLUXO all this map control, all this space to push the windows, to push the doorways. Only Benja left. In a 1v3, now facing a 5-1 deficit. And he will fall, surely, indeed, from above. Volts shuts down Benja. And FLUXO are now 2 rounds away from the main stage at SI.
As we always say, it's a game of 2 halves. But from what we are seeing at the moment, FLUXO W7M are loving this frag-heavy map of Border. They're forcing a lot of fights. They're able to win them out more often than not. Loban's on a heater. They have so much going their way. SSG will need to meet FLUXO on the edge of the map, try to prevent as much control as possible. But that is clearly, as we've seen demonstrated so far, going to be a really tough task. The bans to come through for this first half as the respective coaches will look to rally their troops. FLUXO W7M, it feels like they are once again in a commanding position akin to map 1 of Chalet as army clash Ying and Twitch to be benched for the remainder of this map. Quick look at Loban. 193 EPS, 13 and 3 KD. He's had impact in almost every round, and to top it off, 3-0 entry. He's been absolutely unstoppable.
I'm going to say, I mean, at this point for SSG, if they're to win this map, book main stage, it's going to be one of the great comebacks that we've seen at an SI, because they just look down and out. They're not winning the frag battles, didn't do so in Chalet, not doing it here. Loban doing as he pleases, and again, just holding these windows, swinging these doorways, run-outs from Loban. They just couldn't even get into the building. Now, they go defense, but again, the playstyle of FLUXO that we saw in Chalet should translate comfortably here to Border now as well. And the way that they were aggressive on their defense, I don't see how that changes actually on their attack. If not, it should be even more aggressive from FLUXO. So what do you do if you're SSG? You can't go into your shells on a map like Border. On defense, you need to play the way that FLUXO just did. Window positions, doorway positions. You need to try and be aggressive, get in their face, deny them map control. Do they have the confidence to do that? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I'm honestly not too concerned about the confidence levels for SSG. It's really just on an execution.
5-1 down. I'm terrified for their confidence.
I think if there's any team at this event where the scoreline is irrelevant, SSG are right up there. But in terms of their ability to execute, I think as we've seen so far, they're probably not quite at the level they need to be.
So much hinges really now round-to-round basis. It goes without saying. But if FLUXO gets 6-1, you may as well just throw the towel in. And again, it's following the same notes as Chalet. 4 opening kills straight, by the way, for FLUXO. It's actually 4 straight for Loban.
Yeah.
Has dominated here on this map. He has a 215 EPS, which is staggering after a half. 13-3, 4-0 entry. Iron scan from Palu. And looking at my top down right now, the way that SSG are playing this, they've given up space top east. They're not playing break. They're not really playing security. They're actually giving a lot of map control over to FLUXO. So again, they're actually playing rather defensive in contrast to what we saw from FLUXO in the first half.
Yeah, they've given them a lot of space. They've facilitated map entry. Top east is FLUXO's. They should be able to take security. As I say that, Ashen pivots and gets shot in the back of the head. No way!
Oh, that is a shot from Dodez. Ashen would be tilted off that death. What are you meant to do about that? Loban tagged up heavily. Another line scan from Palu. SSG would be feeling the pressure. Well, they let it overwhelm them. J90, you still got 2 gas babes. He's full white. Loban finds another kill onto Volts. Knocked down, but he's done his job again in this round. Gas babe thrown out from J90. Volts now coming in over towards top east. Dodez shuts him down. This is looking done. Nothing can work right now for SSG. Benja, his first kill on Border. Newers tagged up, thinks about the swing, but knows he's now low on health. Goes for the vault out. This is something special from Newers. Finally, an impact play from SSG. Keeps the round alive.
Both players, though, so low, so susceptible as we enter the last 30 seconds of the round.
Towards Volps, he's holding 90. Loban low on health, but he's still outside the building. Volps will go and group up with Dots. Big shot from Newers onto Loban, but again, he was low. 2v2, health advantage with FLUXO. SSG need to force the time to come down to a plant as Benji hits a clean headshot onto Dots. Only Volps left. Can he clutch a 1v2? Doesn't get the down. 7 seconds, time running out. Volts over, above, pushed away, cannot find the angle. 1 second left, no time, has to stick the plan. SSG, hold on.
Wow. That is one hell of a play from the dynamic duo on the side of SSG. Newers has done such a good job to pluck those kills, and despite being so low on HP,
he had to go
make
for
it work. Yeah.
The vault out, found the angle, got the kill. Was lucky there wasn't 2 players there, just the one. If there were 2, he gets traded. And then obviously Benja was able to hit his shot, low on health, needed the headshot, straight up. Anything else, he's dead. If you look at the highlights of the round, here's the ball paying onto Ashen. And they did a really good clear across towards officers. This is a straight up 2v5 clutch from Benja and Newers. They would have been 6-1 down. Again, no one there. Benja, to be fair, also swung that. So the teamwork and the coordination for those two, exquisite. Needed to be. But again, you go all the way back to Chalet. Remember that timeout from Callout? When you win, you sound relieved. When you lose, you sound a bit defeated. That, to me, sounded a little bit like relief. Rightfully so, because they would have been 6-1 down with a loss.
Yeah.
They need to find that energy if to bring this back.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I think the most intriguing thing for me from a strategic standpoint in that last round, and we identified it through the mid-round, is SSG committed very little and took such low risk early round that FLUXO took control of these stairs. Actually got a little unlucky over towards security. That was a late attempt to wrangle some control back, but they gave so much of the map across to their opposition. Now, sure, FLUXO kind of stumbled over the final hurdle, maybe didn't convert that control as much as they would have liked, but that kind of playstyle, I can only help but feel, may expire pretty quickly on a map like Border.
Open straight through Passport. But no one playing bottom east stairs, so no cross established for Loban. The only thing would be if maybe J9O makes his way down. He's just been droned. Dota's trying to bring him down actually with his drone.
Oh, grenade line up, dots. Grenade line up. J9O.
There's the, oh, and pushed away right into the arms of Volbs. Good call, good spot, and it's an opening kill for FLUXO. No smoke remaining in the round for SSG. Good teamwork from FLUXO to combine to get that kill. He stays, he dies to the nade. He pushes, he dies to Volbs.
Really nice clear. And now gives FLUXO a little bit more freedom to play around. 5v4, lots of time.
Triple nitro for SSG. These need to have impact.
Yeah,
they need to connect.
They do have the Valk. One came over towards security.
That's a pre-place from Benja. You can hear it ticking away above.
Yep. J9O can sit that. I haven't quite spotted where the second cam may be, if it is still up. And at 30. And FLUXO starting this wave across from top east.
There's one in Armory. There is also one in security in terms of the Valk cams. Under a minute and a half left. Ooh, tag from Newers. He's forced to fall back down metal. And it's all first floor now for SSG. Top floor established for FLUXO. Good clear. They've got the wonderful clear into J9O. Faults what it's going for
my
the
goodness.
Nitrocell. The nade, perfect. Here comes Dots. Ashen got 1 for 1 again. That's 2 rounds in a row. Ashen has gotten the kill. Trade against the player he got the elimination on. Palu gets to find a kill yet on Border. Oh my goodness.
He doesn't see faults.
Bolts is still prone. He's got flame bolts. He's got smokes. The drop. Palu found the kill onto Newers. Traded though by Benja as Fault stays prone inside bathroom. He's the only one left now for SSG. Are they aware of his location? Fault, and it's a trigger discipline play for the second time in this series. 30 seconds. He's waiting for the second player. He just takes it. There's one. Doesn't know what he... Oh no, he just ran into Dodes. The discipline was so good. Until he sprinted right at the final opponent as FLUXO have now got 4 match series points.
Wow. Almost another massive clutch play from Faults, but it doesn't quite work out. Some nice shots hit from SSG in that round, but they succumb to the pressure late. FLUXO W7M. 1 round away from sending the NA hopefuls home.
Oh. I mean, it's so easy to be critical of Faults in that situation, but he did so much well. Again, the discipline.
Not on him.
Not on him at all. And we'll watch it back here in the highlights. So if he shoots there first time, again, look how low he is. Dodos is then able to quickly swing, get the clear. His hope obviously was always... But I think what he might have imagined was Dodos was still bathroom. He would have then swung bathroom side. He wanted to wrap around him. But Dodos committed through towers, and then they met at the doorway.
Maybe if he has his time again, he waits even longer for maybe a plant attempt.
He's so low on health. He gets swung. He's probably losing that.
Again, there's no point overanalyzing that point too much. I mean, it was a good attempt.
Well, you kind of have to, because that would have been 5-3 to 1v1.
Yeah.
Now you got to win 4 straight. It's not looking good now for SSG. As much as that was unlikely for Fault, and as much as he did as best as he could, they kind of needed to win that one. Now facing elimination. They were able to see off 4 elimination points in Clubhouse, but it wasn't 4 straight.
Highlighting Palu as well here on board. He's been so quiet compared to the rest of the series. Just 1 and 5 for a player that has been absolutely firing across the first 2 maps.
6 rounds straight, make it 7. The opening kill has gone the way of FLUXO. That's been such a determining factor on this map as Newest goes down. Now SSG fighting for their life.
What can Ashen do? Just 6 kills for him here on border, but we know the impact that this man can have. Has a key role as well over towards security to try and lock down this pillar position. But who else but Loban for a potential 1v1? The man on 14 kills.
Send him in. Loban wants to go hunting. 14 and 5 for the FLUXO star. Ashen, if you peek this, you might be dead. Loban wasn't able to react quick enough. Throws out the air jab to block him from going for that swing again.
Top ace contest as well here from the defense. SSG are trying to lock FLUXO out of the map. No boots on the ground, but that's a tough ask in the 4v5.
Oh. Well, Benja feeling the pressure. One outside break. That's Palu. Can't quite enter. Ashen ended up beating out Loban. That's a big 1v1. Palu will eat the tripwire connector. Force back outside a break. Benja though swings into Palu. Palu hit the shot. Ashen goes big again, but he loses J9O as this becomes a 1v3. Ashen has to clutch one of the biggest moments of his career. He needs the ace clutch or SSG are eliminated.
And they may be aware of his position. Flash flies through and a second. Ashen, what can you do?
By himself, top floor. FLUXO will go straight to site. Ashen doesn't even know it, but the plant is going down inside of towers. FLUXO have turned their attention to the objective. He's got 40 seconds, or SSG are out.
Passport cross, Palu might be able to close it.
Ashen needs to win every single 1v1, but up close, it's down as FLUXO W7M book their place at the main stage of Six Invitational. 3 Brazilian teams will be heading to the Adidas Arena for North America. It's all down to wildcard as Spacestation Gaming are eliminated.
Brazilian dominance at a tier 1 level seemingly continues. Such a strong chance that one of those teams could go all the way in Paris. And for SSG, unfortunate for them today, just not theirs.
7-2, 8-7, 7-2. The big wide open maps, the frag heavy maps, dominated by FLUXO. They beat SSG at their own game. In the end, for SSG, their time comes to an end. Top 8, but no more. For FLUXO, they're off to main stage.
Devastating for the